questions and questions. If we're getting yourselves any gyos, we're in the LNG. Reno and Sujo. Ultra Prime traveling out there. Very base game delay to give you time to get back from Aldi. Aldi, the king of supermarkets. Lidl's also up there. Very affordable for supermarket standards. They better match skins. You know what? I actually didn't see the skins for the Zyrakan. I pray for your sake that they are matching. And Angie is also a matching Zyrakan skin checker. As we get the Ghost popped early from Fish 1, trying to get out of auto attack range. You do not want to give that Kai'Sa passive at level 1. And Baye and Xiaoxia get massive, massive trade there. And sadly, no, they are not matching skins. That is, those do not... There's a boot from Angie in the background. I actually can't remember which Xayah skin that is. It's a bit sharpened for the Xiaoxia, missing the crash down onto the Xayah. W gets procced. It's the W start from the Zyrakan. Conquest taken as well by Fish 1. Baye and Xiaoxia got the better level 1 trade at first, but I think they've lost a lot of HP after that failed crash down next. And you do not want to be even that kind of thing as well. The thing. The trade, extra auto attacks. The golden rule is you do not want to be taking damage if your lane partner is not in range to follow up. The clean feed just stuttering just a little bit right now. So we'll see what happens with that. That's a sign. Okay. Just to see if it loads went over on the other scene. You all good there, clean feed? You all good? Maybe I need to go... Looks like it's okay now. Alright, okay. Okay. Safe for now. Maybe I should set up a backup for that. I probably should have done that in advance. Force game hype. Whenever there's a whenever there's a pause, you just hear I don't know, a whinny in the background. Wave crashes in. Xayah Rel burning through all their pots. Although the only person that's got pots left in the lane, actually. Also gone for the cookies. We're really focusing down on this bot lane. Baye and Xiaoxia. Also, newer players towards the LPL. Level 3 hit first, and the W goes in. Zyrakan prop the W, and that should be a minimum flash force, and there it is. Okay, so flash taken away from Xiaoxia. Power of the Zyrakan, particularly when you have the Rakan jumping in, getting the Xayah W active. The really, really broken thing about the W start from these two is the Chaffon's going to come down and make it into a 3v1 currently. That's, yeah, that's a bit of a problem, because you don't be having no barrier right now, do you, Baye? Walking away from the tower, which means that... Wait, why would you walk away from the tower? Yes? Yeah, red buff's going to get applied. Good damage coming through. Who's coming down? Is the Panting going to walk down there? Yes, but Annie's going to be there with stun primed and ready. Warrior tricks to use. Jenahao coming down, thinking he can get himself a good play. Didn't have the empowered W, used the empowered Q instead. Used the E. No one's going to die. Jenahao coming down to cover. Importantly, so if he wasn't there, that would have been likely full wave lost or so. It's still already with that. Some minions lost on the tower. Means that the Xayah can't get themselves, well, after the waves even, a slight CS lead. It won't be that large. Large after the 6 are down there. What's happening with the overall jungle pathing? Any camps, extra camps taken? Well, Xiaofang took bot scuttle. Because Jenahao had to cover bot side, he might lose top scuttle. He was looking for it, but Saber's at least bought Jenahao entrance into top river. So it's not going to be double scuttle. Xiaofang's going to go back to, looks to be his respawn with Krugs. Not Krugs, the other one, Raptors. That's the thingy. You can see how the early lane trading from bot lane, right from the level 1, has changed the game, because you can see how the junglers have had to respond to it. I was saying before, but for those who don't know why the Zyrakan is so broken potentially at level 1 with the W starts, Xayah gets move speed when she auto-attacks champions while her W is active. Move speed is very important because it allows you to follow up for extra auto-attacks and then not fall behind them, because you have to stop moving to auto-attack, right? So if Xayah can't reach a champion herself, she doesn't get that move speed. Rakan gets to activate Xayah's W for him. So when he jumps in and auto-attacks, he also actually ends up activating that W. It's one of the reasons why he's so strong for Xayah, and particularly at the early levels, when he gets the benefits of the W too. He goes in, procs the move speed for them both, gets the extra attack speed and percentage auto-attack damage up as well. It's kind of insane, actually. So Fish1 and Ovo, utilizing that as best they can. We don't see W max that much on Xayah Rakan anymore, worth noting. W first start, rather. The Q start is just very, very obnoxious in terms of a little bit of sustain, a little bit of poke. It's not as heavy in the all-in, but it, yeah. You can see the value of it, right? Hope everyone is doing well. Who's filing in to watch some good old LPL here on the Nymaera channel. Onivia as well. Live on Twitch, YouTube, and Onivia's highlights as well. Sam is resting his voice today and very much deserves a good flick back. Nice. You see what Saber did there? There's a fun thing he did there. I guess we're going to talk about laning micro mechanics here. He waited until Haichao was going to load up his auto attack to kill a minion. And because you stand still to auto attack, you're CCing yourself. One of the great things about playing stuff like Syndra, Ari, Talia, God damn, that Psylocke is so loud. You can use that moment where you predict someone's auto attack to get value, and their Ghost popped as the ult did end up hitting onto the Xayah, full knockup. Needs to be careful now of where the Q movement speed is going to go. Trying to wait out the flash. Is it going to be enough? Jiang doesn't have that W. Both summoners blown by Xayah. Waited out the Ghost. Dragon started on the other side. Flash forward from Junhao. Gets his E on target as well and blocks out a lot of damage. The equalizer coming through to the play, and there's a big disengage now coming through from LNG. Zucker has the equalizer, and I think it's done enough though. Zucker has turned up again. Double MVP yesterday in LNG's first series win, and chasing down for another host of kills. 1-0-1. The Rumble makes the difference yet again. LNG's top laner really coming to life in the last few days. Ultra Prime got that flash out of Xayah top lane. That was good. Playing into the equalizer on the bot side of the fight, less good. Compliment for Xerath. The only thing greater than that equalizer is seeing that you're in chat. Ain't that wonderful? I thought this was a good engage from the Pantheon. Pantheon Talia flies into the fight, and then the equalizer hits full. Yeah, you don't have to have, you know, a million, and the Tibbers as well, of course. But yeah, everyone feels great until Rumble hits an ult onto like 4 people. Oh, damn, that was a good Rumble ult. It's a very good Rumble ult. And it's not like the Scion was there early enough into the fight to make a difference. We did say that LNG, if they are the ones to make the first pick, they have a ton of damage, a lot of AoE teamfight damage. Ultra Prime need to be the ones who are finding picks for their ultimates. They just use the Weaver's Wall. That doesn't help. Smite away. That was by Junhao. So first one down. No smite for Xiaofeng. You'll still get that second one. Doesn't have a smite to secure it. Junhao doesn't want to stick around, though. I think particularly with Sion and Talia ults down, you don't want to be fighting without those repositioning tools available to you. LNG will claim the 2 grubs, winning the first dragon, the worst first fight of the game, and the first grub. So early signs good for LNG, and one of those great early signs is the fact that Zucker is ahead. This guy has been on such good form the last series and now into this one too. I'm getting a little bit worried for Ultra Prime with that in mind, actually. Given the early advantages and the objective leads, not loving it. Ultra Prime needs to find a way to find picks onto isolated targets. I don't think they want to be buying into 5v5s if they can help it. What you really want to be doing is using your ultimates as ways to make those numbers disadvantages really good. But that pronunciation was actually so good. Yeah, hang on a second. There's a flash up towards topside. Let's see if we can pronounce death. Cause of death. Potentially a Pantheon flying in towards topside and Fish1. Yeah, pronounced dead. 9:31. Deceased. Pushing up the daisies. Gone to meet his makeup. Beautiful plumage though, as he's pining for the fountain. The bird goes back into sepia screen. Kill goes over towards the Kai'Sa, and this is a good sign. This is exactly what they want to. It's exactly what they want to play like. We're going to try and hold the wave. Hang on a second. He actually is. That's a surprise. Hang on a second. That's a surprise amount of damage. Rakan, my dude, threatened a solo kill. Teleport coming in on the other side. There's no flash, no ult. Hang on a second. Did Ovo just Oh my god! He's just avenged his partner. A last Q will come in, and Ovo wants this. It's almost a solo kill for a Rakan. Oh my god. This guy is going to be the most entertaining guy I've cast in a while. Let me tell you that. I am loving what this guy is bringing over. Zuka, rather. Yeah, I was so good on the pronunciation later. Getting a decent trade there. Not going for the Conqueror, going towards the Comet. We've seen kind of a death of Conqueror Rumble. Oh, folks, I'm going to have to get so many clips together because I'm telling you, my next YouTube short / TikTok is going to be just, oh, what's this? I'm telling you, that's what it is. It's a sitting, it's easy content, I'll tell you. Can't believe he almost solo killed a Kaiser. That's fantastic. That's just wonderful. This guy is going to be one of my favorite players coming up. Just not the name got. Look, I came here for the name. I'm staying for whatever the hell this gameplay is. Okay, what's up in the next few minutes? We've got Dragon in a minute. Ultra Prime have their big ultimates coming back up. You have Grand Starfall, I guess 30 seconds away. What's the cooldown at first rank? Plate goes up towards Saber. 2 minutes is it first cooldown? First rank of that? Global ultimates tend to have longer cooldowns. Can't actually name the Pantheon ult cooldown off the top of my head though. Haven't heard any English commentator get that close to the right pronunciation of Tsuka. I heard the host say it on the way in, so it was fresh in my mind. And I have to say, casting LPL for the last 3 years does mean that I get a little bit closer to the pronunciation. Yeah, I've tried my best to keep things like. So there is a sweet spot when you get different names which are pronounced differently within Mandarin. Because syllables are very different. Now, for instance, it's not Tian, it's Tien. Slightly different on that. Hey Sam, how's it going? Sam,
my voice is fried.
Yeah, Sam, you take your day off, mate. Ovo pretty much got a solo kill as Rakan onto Kaiser. This guy might be the most entertaining player I've seen in quite some time. He's also here. Man, I just talk about him. He ends up getting a cover play on the dive as well. Pantheon. Where's that ult going? Chunhao, that ult is not on target. That is Stay on target. Stay on target. Pull up. You're too low. Porkins, rest in peace. Oh.
I believe they just named him Porkins, by the way. That is
because
a wild decision.
Sam, I'm going to imagine like maybe it is. No, it was actually his name.
Wow.
Sometimes you just take after his name. I'm just like, it's not a nickname. Porkins was just a fat dude in an X-wing. What can I say? That was the joke. It's like, my God. I mean, it's very kind of like, US Air Force humor.
Yes.
That is very kind of like US war movie kind of humor. Okay, Dragon was taken by LNG. The Pantheon ult used in not optimal fashion. I think Govo did a great job of covering that top dive, being there in the right place. There was a dive angle. That's the kind of play which is really important to see from new supports. The creative engage, the 2v2 stuff, that's the easy part of going into pro, because you can practice that in solo queue. Practicing how to protect a lane swap dive, that's the hard bit. That's a good start there. We'll see if he continues to do that. I like that though, and because he's a new player with a funny name, we're yeah, we pay attention to that stuff. We do. It's important to see. Saber, not gonna get that flick of Fog of War. Malignant's built up for high chest, so he's a decent point of power. Cyclone into the enemy jungle. Xiaoxia has flash, uses that heal first, has a Magnet Storm available, flashes away. Scion, where's that going to? That's going in bot side. That's not in the same play. Zerka flashes away from the Scion. We'll hit a couple of Electro Harpoons back. So flash down Tsuka. I'm getting in my head about the pronunciation. Now, you do want it to be natural. I can't be saying it like that because it just sounds unnatural. Equalizer comes down to equalize the trade of ults. The Soul Furnace comes through, though, and Ichin... not feeling... hang on a second. Maybe he does feel like he can know something more about this. Has the burn of his item coming through. The Q misses, and that might be the difference. There's no flash on this little rumble. If that Q had hit, I think it would have been the solo kill. Both top laners blowing flash, blowing ult. Neither one dying. Scion will recall. Can go back out onto the map. Rumble does have the teleport to get out there quicker, though. Roams around the map. There's a Weaver's Wall, but Saber's already in the lane. That one's not important right now. This lady needs a hospital. What is it? It's a big white building with doctors in it, but that's not important right now. Actually, I will safely click the wave under turret. This was the play on boss side. Ah, really good slow from the Roar of the Slayer. That's what ends up making it through. Yeah, hits the E, forces the flash. Whenever you get hit by slow from Sign, you feel pretty bad. Oh, Vol going for an engage. Just cancelled out of his W, but perhaps the timing is the right choice. Anyway, Saber is down already. Double teleports. There's no equalizer, no ults in either of them, remember? Junhao left alone, and I think he's just been left out to dry. There's no one else coming to the play. Kai'Sa doesn't want to fly in. It's 2 quick kills to LNG. The timing of the engage is right, and Ultra Prime don't respond in time despite their global ultimates. They don't get there in time. That was a speedy Herald. Just waddling their way back home to go fight again. Ultra Prime cannot be playing like this. You have quick collapse ultimates. You're meant to be, when someone is picked off, when the fight starts to come through, Weaver's Wall flies into the play. Grand Starfall goes into the play. The Killer Instinct goes in as well. I'm just worried that Ultra Prime don't really know how to play this composition. This isn't about 5v5s. I think in a 5v5 they lose. I think when it comes to the quick picks, Ultra Prime should be the ones that should be getting away with this. But I think that they're getting caught out a little too early into the plays. Like right here, what's happening here? 2 players up here. Pantheon, I mean, is in range just around the corner, but Kai'Sa's not roaming over. The exhaust comes through onto Junhao. I guess it doesn't make that much of a difference, but you know, you are against the Cyclone and Annie at the fantastic point of power too. I mean, Annie level 11 means that you have the passive magic pen. I think it's 10, 15, 20% pen now. This is better. Play onto the side lane. Nice. That is the play you want to see. Killer Instinct onto the side. Kill onto the Kai'Sa. 2 kills to them. 1,000 gold advantage to the AD carry. That's more of what you want to see. However, because of the play beforehand, they did lose the Herald, and that's going to be driven into mid lane. No, it's not. It's going to be driven into the wall. Make sure you wear your seatbelts. Our crash in the mid lane means that Herald does not get to slam home into the structure. Brickwork will remain untouched for now. Great Talia Wall. Great Talia Wall will mean that the first turret of the game even goes down on that top side. Ultra Prime, not bad there. Fancy defense of that Herald. I haven't seen it used like that before. Great play from Saber. So we have a game which is within 1,000 gold. Slight lead to LNG. The 2 dragons more important than the gold itself right now. First item for jungler is also very important too. 2 items for that AD carrier. God, that's going to be strong. In the top side, we saw how EGN forcing another bad trade from a solo laner. EGN's been doing great on this arm. Been liking that so far. Saber heading towards top. Oh my god, trying to cancel out the teleport, and indeed they do. Avengers assemble on the top side as Saber and Junhao take down Haichao. That is the Pantheon Talia. Folks, this is why you don't give Pantheon Talia. If you need any examples of why not to give that duo, that's how unfair it is to play against. As long as one of them has a global, they fly over to the other one, and they point and click combo you to death. First item for both of them. Great stuff. Are they going to be able to take the top lane in a turret? No, because there's an equalizer. That'll be at least be used to wave clear. They might give up half the tower instead. They have the 1 grub. It's not like it's going to go in super quickly. Don't think they'll be able to take... Yeah, you just saved it. Dragon taken by LNG. And what they'll do is they'll trade the side lane for the dragon... The 3rd dragon. LNG... What the heck? Yo, what the heck? I repeated that. That's a very funny message. Oh, God. LNG up to 2 items on their own AD carry now. LNG do have that soul point. That 3rd dragon going to really help them strategically later on. Sorry, just child protected. Pitbull deployed. What the hell? What do you mean? Thank you for the follow, by the way. Fired Loveless, by the way. See, that reminds me of Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, which has a play in it called Loveless, which is quoted by Genesis a bunch throughout that game. Morning, enjoyed. We were playing a gold ship campaign in the delay just before this, by the way, enjoying. Merry gold shipmas, by the way. Atacon in a minute. Well, that's where games go to die, Atacon. That objective is not normally. We have checked him PC, and Atacon is not normally. Raptor's taken. John heading towards the bot side of the map. Doesn't have that Grand Starfall just yet. And of course, Annie and Pantheon, both champions which have passive damage on their ultimates. I actually think that's been a way better way to... I think that's been a way better way to balance global or non-damaging ult champions. Ryze has it, Pantheon has it, and Bessa has it, Annie has it. Where they level up their ultimate, yes, but actually the passive of just saying, you hit level 6, level 11, level 16, you get some extra damage somewhere in your kit. Annie gets extra % magic penetration. Ambessa gets percent armor pen and some Omnivamp. Pantheon gets armor pen. What that means is that you don't end up just having these ultimates feeling really dissatisfying to level up, and it means that you can nerf the global part of the ultimate, or whatever part of it, and then keep it still being a point of power. I think that's been a much better way to play its phrase to do the game. Now I like that bit. Atacam, things started up. Ultra Prime would need to call the teleport down from Ichin. Comes down towards that. LNG tanking the Atacant, not really where you want to be. High Chow Vision on the control wall, teleport coming through. Saber not going to be stunned, but I was a little worried there. 5k on the Atacant. Q charged up from Sion, not in there now. Does the ult into the pit? 4k, are we going in for a steal? That's a late Grand Starfall, but the ultimate for the Sion is damn good. Where did the HP bar of Fish1 go? Where did it go? The Atacant's not been taken. It's still being tanked up. Atacant goes down to Xiao Feng. Fight continues though, and a lot of red members are on the other side of the map. Fish1 returns a feather pullback though and gets one kill down. Baye, he's used his ult in both summoners. Fight currently at a 2-for-1 in favor of Ultra Prime, but LNG have walked away with the Atacant. Make that a 3-for-1 as Zucker will go down as the last kill of the fight. 3-for-1 to Ultra Prime, but they will lose the objective. LNG, yeah, not exactly how they wanted that fight to go. Tower will fall, so it's a bit more map openings. It's very dangerous to give outer towers to a team with these global ultimates. That being said, 1-for-1 in the tower trade. Mid lane outer turret has been taken by LNG. Hai Chao kept Tibbers around to tank that turret. Does help quite a lot there. That's a great Sion. Oh, what a play from the Sion, by the way. Immediately takes the AD carry out of the fight. Ichin doing such a good job in this game. I think he's been the player of the game so far. He has been fantastic. Baye flies into the Cyclone, which is a little bit awkward, but still manages to finish off the kill. A little bit dangerous there. And over, of course, the move speed from the Kai'Sa with the E running is very hard to do much about. That was a great sound play. I think he's been the best player of this game so far. You know, forcing flashes, a bunch of things. And I just see something in chat there from Elijah over in Onivia's chat saying that Xayah should have ulted sooner. Yes, I think in an ideal world they should have done. However, I think they were just caught out a little bit by the fact that the Sion slammed into the Atacant wall and the AoE splash damage ended up catching them. That's the bit which surprised them. Understandably so. Sometimes that terrain, you're not as used to it. Sion, kind of like the Ornn, if you crash into that wall, the AoE can go through that. You know that sometimes Sion, if you press your R to cancel it, can hop small walls with that last step of his ult if it's charged up? There's a very famous play from Soaz at Season 8 Worlds where he does that to get like a 3-man Sion ult into the Baron pits. Really, really cool. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. Ultra Prime will have to defend against a potential Ocean Soul from LNG. LNG have the Atacant for the extra petal value. Do we have second items on big carries? Yeah, we do. Pretty much everywhere. Jungler, for LNG, the one person that hasn't got that, not able to get up towards what looks to be a, oh, Starix isn't a tunnel. It would be the Black Cleaver, of course it would be. Of course it would be. Hai Chao off vision, doesn't have flash this time. Xiaofeng trying to play around the, thingy mabob as well. The flanks, the no vision. Ichin, not really the person they want to engage onto. All ultimates available. Ultra Prime going to the 5v5. Typically not, again, where they really thrive. Xiaofeng's hopped over the back of the pit. They have not got the vision control for this. No, they don't. There could be a Cyclone over the wall. Waiting for this Warrior Trickster to come back up. The Weaver's wall's not bad. They don't see this. Look, you don't see the Wukong. You don't see the Wukong. You know something's wrong. The Equalizer's likely to come down there. It is Xiaofeng into the backline. 2-man onto that. There's no summoners onto Baye, who goes down to the Wukong. Will die for the first kill of the fight. And I think Ultra Prime might have just been found wanting at this objective. LNG will clean them up with so many kills, and the dragon secured. Ocean Soul for LNG, as Ultra Prime don't control vision control well enough, and will lose 4 at the fight, and will not take a single member or the dragon in return. Xiaofeng, great play on the flank. Got off a vision. Ended up getting into the backline, allowing Zucker to close the distance with the Flame Spitter. And Ultra Prime just couldn't stand and fight. They didn't have the vision control. Too many bushes to ward out. Ultra Prime struggling in the 5v5s as we thought they potentially might do. That is a killer. Now, the Ocean Soul is not as strong as it used to be, nor do I think in this game it's going to be the be-all and end-all because, you know, you don't have that many tanks. You don't have tanks, really, to make use of it. That Equalizer in the Cyclone is such good AoE damage. The Anvils, of course, the Tibbers goes through. You know, Ichin trying to keep the Xayah away, but what can you do? The Wukong's already into the backline. Ichin, who I think has been the best player in the game so far, can't really do that much in that situation. Credit to that top laner of Ultra Prime. He's been really trying his best. Really trying his best. 3 items for the Xayah for LNG. Yeah, it's scary. Yep. 3 items, that's where things get very problematic. Doesn't have the Lord Dominus Regards. That being said, Ichen's mainly gone towards Magic Resist build, because he's against double AP solo lane. It's not like he needs the Lord Doms massively. Tsuka towards that top side. Pushing in. They might have spotted the realm. Alcove Gaming. Alcove Gaming not working here. Teleport on one side. The ultimate's coming through on the other. Okay. That's a Scion going into the brush. Pantheon up here too. Yeah, this is the kind of play which they're better at. No flash on the Rumble. Should at least be them down. Equalizer's not great. It's just onto John Hao, but here comes the Cyclone. And Fish One turns up to the play. And that is a very, very dead 80 carry. Haicho zeros out the Kaiser. LNG fire back. Zerka puts the flame spitter on, and it will be 4 dead on the top side. Let's be honest, it's going to be 5. A clean ace for LNG after the 4 at Dragon as well. Leaves them massively at the advantage. The Ocean Soul ticking up through the fight will leave them with plenty of HP to take the Baron. LNG, this is a team that was winless up until yesterday. They were 0-5 in the first round robin of Group Nirvana. Ultra Prime, their only win was against LNG. They were hoping they could double that here. This is their first game of the second round robin, traveling out to Suzhou to face LNG, the home team here. But LNG perhaps have found a revival, perhaps have found a lease on life. They're playing much better around these team fights. I think that Xiaofeng and Zerka have really leveled up. I think this bot lane has been good. I think that Fish One and Ovo have been better than LP and Zhuo, who I think really had struggled before that point. No, great teleport in from each, and that's not bad. This is what the composition's meant to do. You're just too far behind, you're against an Ocean Soul. Ovo comes in to delay the play. Haichao finds out the AD carry on the backline, who doesn't ult into the play. I think that was a mistake from Baye. Really wants to be in the thick of things, like flying into the play if you're going to be committing to that in the first place. Yeah, LNG is 1-5, Zareth. Yep, they only won their first series yesterday. LNG have really fallen from lofty heights in the last year or two. But yeah, Ovo coming in for Dwarf in that, you know, that last series. Fish One was playing last week, did play a series I think before. Yeah, LNG weren't looking fantastic. They were looking very, very poor. They were looking leaderless, directionless. LNG pushing in with the Baron buff now. They have 2 grubs. Very, very happy to keep pushing in and make the most of this Baron buff. Ultra Prime perhaps could go for a multi-ultimate collapse, but really hard to do that now into a level 16 Xayah with 3.5 items. Come on, that's just not fair. And yet there's not that much out. Okay, this is the collapse. They go into 1 here, but Ovo's coming in for a little bit of disengage. An extra tower shot goes onto the gap. Of course Ovo gets the kill back. Of course he does. This support can do no wrong. Apparently, there's a fly into the mid lane as well. Is there an ultimate left for Fish One? No, used it already, but he has so much damage. He'll take one down in a 1v3. This fish has got some gills and fins and will swim away from the encroaching members. And Ovo is out here to the rescue. The new bot lane of LNG might be some gold dust. Where the hell did LNG find these? Xiaofeng will turn up, kill Saber. Fish One, left alone in a 1v3, survives long enough to get supports, and LNG will close out the game likely in under 30 minutes here. Pushing in mid lane and bot lane. Ultra Prime cleared from the field of play. Nexus in their sights. LNG will leave that mid lane. An RNG flare from Ovo. A fan of that old great team here in RNG and the LPL. Junhao not able to save his team here. Dies once more. The Nexus will fall. And LNG find their first win of the series. Perhaps a comeback for a team that had been struggling so much. Ultra Prime in LNG's home ground of Suzhou now need to make a comeback. Let's see if there are any Gyos. No Gyos today, it seems like. As I eat a very nice cinnamon roll. In case you are wondering. Don't have walking force. As the wind becomes lightning. Now, 80 carries were okay as support, Frogs. They were. For a little while. And then people realized that Dirk as a component was way too broken. Bloodsong was too broken as an item. And Halo Blades was too broken as a rune. Carrier show was that. Ooh, good Electrocute first trade from High Chap. Electrocute is much lower cooldown than it used to be. It's very good in the all stages of the game now, really. Used to feel like it was kind of like a mid-game item, not great in lane, not great in late game. Now it's actually very good at all of them. Jinx and Civet, trading waveplay. Good Q accuracy there from Xiaoxia. Level 1, Ricochet actually outvalues the rockets. You don't expect that as a Jinx lane. Jinx tends to get wave control almost every lane that she's in because the AoE of fish bones. Fish one with fish bones. See the connection there. I'm not actually sure if they were named after that. And if that Q had hit, it would have the potential of a force away of a bunch of XP and minions. They are still going to get the level 2, of course. It is the Jinx. Not like the Alistair can help you at level 1 either. Q, not quite on target there. Gets the first pop, not the second. Good wave play from Fish one. You know the fish bones at the just the level 1 can get some value. Great farming under turret. You know what? Sometimes people drop some very easy minions like that. I know it's a simple thing, but good farming under turret is a very satisfying thing to watch. Good there from Fish one. Means that he's actually even in farm after the wave crashes in. This bot lane from LNG. I'm keeping a weather eye on them. Keeping a weather eye. They're looking pretty good. It's like didn't get his rage bar up to get an empowered ability there on the trade. Of course, Renekton empowered abilities are about double the strength of a regular ability. God, they're so strong. Even his empowered E, which you rarely see used, can be so broken in terms of ooh, nice energy management, that rage management. You don't typically want to use that E2 when it's in the red. It does give armor shred, which is very good versus tanks, but on the whole, you don't really want to be using it. Your empowered W and your empowered Q are insanely powerful. Skarner coming behind Zuko. It's got top side Scuttle Crab, potentially forced over. Ryze? Ryze can walk over quicker. I don't know if Xiaofeng wants this. Oh, hang on, that's a drive into the wall. Don't really know if Xiaofeng wants to stick around for this. I say that. It's actually winning the trade right now. That's a Grasp proc onto him as well. Not sure I love Grasp on junglers. You just never get a chance to proc it. I suppose it gives you the regen midway through. I think what's happened with Grasp is that Grasp of the Undying, even though you're picking it on melee matchups in top lane into ranged matchups, we've seen like Grasp Gwen into Aurora, stuff like that. Even though you don't get the stacking value of that as much, the sustain of it, when you do get it, and a little bit of extra damage, is really valuable. Plus, you also get access to the very strong Resolve runes, which are, I think are the strongest in the game. Yeah, I think they are. I think they are. A Second Wind, Overgrowth is pretty good, Shield Bash is pretty good. Coffee link, please, Nymaera. It's just above you. It is literally just above you. It's in there. Thank you, though. I appreciate it, Prompidor, for asking. Or coffee is in, like, wait, you just spell out differently. I mean... Yeah, it actually did just pitch just above me. I literally just saw it, you said, like, oh, Kofi link. And when it's 2 messages above you, like, is this a joke I'm not a part of? It's fine. Don't you worry about that. It's been a quiet early game. Sivir, Jinx trading out. Wave control. I get a little bit worried that Fish 1 hasn't gone for the cull right now. But that being said, a little bit of attack speed on Jinx goes very far. What you're looking to do on Jinx, of course, is to stack up 3 times on Fish Bones. Not Fish Bones, the other one. Pow Pow. That's it. Pow Pow. Get the extra attack speed from your minigun form. And then what you can do is you can switch over, use that attack speed to get that one quick rocket. There's a quick Jinx combo you can do, which I forget the exact amount of it, but I think if someone's in very short range, you auto switch to rockets. While you're switching, you press E, cancel your E with your W, slow them into it, and then you get your auto attack afterwards. Flash away from the ultimate. There is a Dominus available, and there's a fight in the 2v2 on the bot side, which I don't think Ovo is particularly happy about. Uses the heal, and they do manage to get some damage there from the Alistair. Fish 1 trying to get the last damage, but it will not be enough. Bayer flashes up the emotes and will kill his lane opponent. Egen on top side, missed his ult on the top side, was flashed away from. And doesn't have any tools left to get out of the play. It's a 1-for-1 across the map. Sivir getting a kill on the bot side. Aurora getting a kill on the top side. Both very valuable people to have gold on. So it's an even trade in my eyes across the board. Why is LNG suddenly winning again? That is a great question. As a flash away from Junhao. Aim from Haichao and Xiaofeng. The topside river. Xiaofeng still has his flash. Wasn't forced to use that. The Exile's impact will see him out to safety. Haichao has flash. Can he get away safely? Xiaofeng trying to hit around for a slow, and it will help. It'll stop Saber from getting an extra follow-up there. Oh, thank you so much for the donation, Bombadil. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very, very kind of you. Need to have something on the screen for that, actually. Really appreciate it. Thank you. So the TV2, which happens on the bot side. As I don't know, I just don't think you want to be playing Alistair into Braum for close 1v1s like this. Fish1 thinks, I mean, thinks he can get the extra damage down. It wasn't even close as the Infinity logo comes up from Bayer. Does he have history with them? Does he have history with them? Does Fish1 have history with them? I didn't think Fish1 did. Maybe I should have looked into that, actually. But I think which is good to know. Bayer. He's never played for them. Maybe there is some history there. I mean, it's a fun logo. I remember Infinity at MSI 2021, I think it was. Yeah, it was that, because I remember they played against DFM in the group stage. That was back when I was a big follower of the LJL. Saber has flash, might have to use it. Drag back, no wall stun. There is an Impale available. Slow lands onto him, gets the Phase Rush active. Does have flash. Junhao's around the corner. He has level 6 too. The Impale doesn't hit onto the Rise, but will hit onto the Shinzao. I think Xiaofeng might be in a bit of trouble here. Xiaoxiao walking up the river first. Good engage there from Haichao, as Junhao doesn't have flash to follow up the play. Braum up will slow them down, but there's a flash forward from the Alistair, which makes things very, very different. And it's a punch into the rocket! Although once this, it's an ult from downtown. Sivir will come round to pick up one kill back. Ends up still being a 2-for-1 with an awesome alley-oop from the bot lane across the map. I mean, what, how do you complain about that? That is, what can you say about that? You know, if you're on the receiving end of that, you just nod respectfully and say, you know what, great alley-oop. Initially, it was the headbutt, just to be like, well, okay, let's make sure that the Rise is not within DPS range. Saber caught out does have that flash. This is just insane. So, I mean, the initial comment to Saber's fine. Saber's holding onto the flash, thinks he can hold it a little bit longer. Shinzao comes in, dodges out in the Impale. Saber thinks, okay, I've got a bit more room to DPS, and Braum's first on the roam. So surely we can make a big play out of this. But Hijack has the double ult coming in. I think it's the triple ult, actually. Xiaoxi gets caught with it, too. And then just look at this. The flash pull in, and the headbutt to get Rise out of DPS and into the rocket from the Jinx. This support is so exciting to watch. Ult into bot side. Haichao caught out by Ichin. About half the HP down. With Dragon being available, and the Grub, I suppose it's valuable, but he can always back off and teleport back in. Wants to stay bot side to keep up, yeah. Ovo mentioned he's a huge On fan. Yes, he did. He named his account Ovo because On used to be Owo. That was his name before. Fish1 clearing through mid lane. The Color Bounty cashed in from Bayer. I'm a little worried about this Sivir popping off. They did get that kill in the last fight. And while the big part of that last fight was the Alistair kind of going mental and doing some crazy stuff, Sivir being over 1,000 gold ahead once this Color crashes in is not acceptable for LNG. Sivir will do unspeakable things to their team. That is not good. Yep, it is exactly the same genre of emote. Enjoying it is exactly the same genre. I think that needs to be clipped. Absolutely does. That's just a fantastic alley-oop. Okay, flash away from Saber in the top side. There was a wall stone from Xiaofeng. Really forcing on to Saber. Not wanting to get him some... Not, blah, blah, blah. Not allowing him to get farm on the other side of the map. Dragon hasn't been killed yet, by the way. If the LPL has the next cracked bot lane, we're going to be eating good next year. We were just talking about this before. Darkworld was mentioning how... You know, actually, you look at the recent supports that have come up to the LPL, and they've had good debuts, I think, actually. Or at least grown from their debuts. I think there are players like Dway and Feather, which I've got a lot of respect for, as the clean feed is just stuttering just a little bit. So we'll hope that that goes to come through. It will hopefully start again now. Now. Please, come on, clean feed. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on. Clean feed. Come on. Okay, right. I might need to go... Okay, alright. Let's just see if this loads up. I will have a backup ready. Oh, there we go. It is fine then. It is fine. Okay, alright. We're fine. We're fine for now. I will, however, set up a quick backup. Quick backup. Just in case that happens again. Fight in the bot side. Ooh, that's close to the kill, but not quite there, and it's really hard to set up a backup while all this shit is still happening at the same time. Come on, there we go. Cool. Okay, right, that should be okay now. Let's have that set up in the background. Should be fine there. Okay, cool. I have the backup now set up, and we should be fine. Fish 1, jumped on by Bayet. Really trying to take that trade in. Yuntal to Kraken Slayer. It is one item to one item. The 1k gold lead is there for Bayet, but now the Kraken Slayer for Jinx. Very, very strong in its own right. Fish 1 not doing badly there. Pops the Ghost in response to that ultimate. Summoner for ult. Doesn't trade too badly. Chin gets that Q2 onto high champ. Nothing more than that. Putting all my eggs in the Zuka basket. I mean, his Renekton is insanely good. 1,000 gold lead on the Renekton. Yesterday had an 8,000 gold lead. 8,000 gold lead. Insanity. On the bot side, Saber doesn't have any escape now. No flash was forced in top side, and the kill donated to the Jinx, who gets excited and will be able to use that to get one last plate in this bot side turret. Maybe even two, actually. They get excited is very, very strong. They'll get two turrets off, two turret plates. They won't be able to get the last plate, but they will get the full last turret. It's LNG. Get the Jinx excited, and suddenly that 1,000 gold lead between the AD carries shrinks to under half that. Ichin on the top side will get some gold there. But he's not a Jinx, and he's not excited. Definitely not as excited as we are. We're very excited here, League of Legends. He won't be able to kill this turret nearly as quickly. He will get the tower. Doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to get there in time. No teleports to defend the tower either. Ichin will get that turret and gold over towards him. Second item now, very close for both our AD carries. See whether Fish 1 wants to go towards Phantom Dancer. Might be a Phantom Dancer angle. Try and get that just raw movement speed, and the ability to ghost through teammates is really important, actually. He has ghost anyway, but yeah, it's really important to walk out of something like the Warzone Pool ult, the Ambassador ults. Herald spawning, Junhao going straight towards that. Of course, Junhao, fantastic player with the Shinzo in last split. Struggled to match that performance in this one. Trying to hold the choke point. Teleport coming in from the Aurora. Ultram, they would really like to hold this choke point into River if they can, but it's quite hard to stop Ascana going through. He doesn't have an Impale just yet. 10 seconds on that. W is being fired about, although popping a Ghost from the Spellbook. Coming down to a Smite fight, and it's a flash as well. Jinx ends up stealing it and gets excited from it. A 3-man Impale comes through to the backline as the Ambassador does get onto the Jinx. Danger stations for LNG as the AD carry goes down. Bayer coming back into the fight. Junhao trying to get some damage down, and the Ambassador gets rolling. Zuka pops the Dominus. Triple kill to the Ambassador right now with 2 left on the table. It's a quadra kill to the Ambassador. Zichin, the duelist from the PCS of Frank Esports fame, lands a killer blow around that team for Ultra Primer back in it. Insane performance from the Ambassador that was so far behind. Ichin goes absolutely mental around the fight. Gets the ult onto the AD carry, stops them from getting excited and, well, continuing to get excited and take over that team fight. You would have thought the Renekton would be the one taking over with the gold lead that they had with the, you know, the point in the game that it is. It is their comfort points. And LNG, despite it being a great first combo, look at this first combo. Get the wall slam. You know, it's the double Impale, triple Aurora ult. The Locket comes through, though. The Shinzao ult comes through to separate out the fight. Bayo manages to slip his way through into it. And Soka doesn't manage to stop the engage really coming through. There's nothing left for Ambessa once she gets into that fight. Haichao flashes forwards, goes into melee range, dies. Not really many other options you can get. Yeah, I was saying that Ambessa wasn't excited. They are now. Yeah, very much now. 4-1. Almost towards their second item off that fight. Jeez, so much gold given over. Was that Jigsaw? Very nearly stole that. Very nearly stole that indeed. Huh. What next to talk about? Well, Atacam's the next objective up, and then still that's a little while away. We have, what's it call it? Tutorial summoner spells on these supports right now. They have like heal and hex splash. I guess that's not it. We heal and ignite for Xiaoxia. But yeah, I think it's ready to rip LNG and Yuan in the next fight. 2 items of the Flicker Blades. We did say, well, you know, the gold lead halved between Fish1 and Bayer because of the bot lane play, the kill and the tower plates and the tower itself. Started to grow again. Fish1 will still be scary. If he gets excited, yeah. Pretty nasty. At that point, you basically need the Ambassador to hit them or you die. Or you die. The overall gold lead's not massive. I'm just worried about the item breakpoints of carries, and that is a great read from Xiaofeng, who is hovering just behind the lane. Doesn't want to use that wall stun too easily. Flash blown. Xiaofeng not using his own ult. That's nice. That's a good summoner away from Ichin, who's been very critical to Ultra Prime success. That quadra kill around the Herald. The highlight of the game so far. The Herald was taken by Fish1, of course. He can still use that at some points. Blue buff being contested. Fish1 clearing out a wave on the turret. There's a ward to kill in the bot jungle, which Fish1 will go up towards now. Remember to pick up those petals, kids. You know, sometimes there are those like parks with flowers in them, and you think, particularly as a kid, you're like, am I allowed to pick these? Actually, kids don't question that. Oh, pretty flowers. These grow here naturally, right? And they just pick the flowers. My cousin did that at in Cardiff when they were young. Just picked like a couple of daffodils, which it was a very sweet thing to do. It was, however, taking daffodils like out of a flower, not in placement. You know what I mean? Thingy. You know, the ones which people set up properly for people. Ooh, we change jumping forwards. How's the 2 item? Yeah, that's a 2 item best. I'm not want to be getting into melee range of that. Oh, the innocence of moments like that. Hang on, Bayer's the one roaming down. Hang on, if you see the Civet there, you've got to be a little bit sus. Be okay, though. Herald going towards mid lane. Not able to aggro the Herald. It will end up going into the tower. Charges up. There we go. Mid lane tower charged in. Zucker pushing out that top side turret. Was very, very fed beforehand. And honestly, he's not doing badly now. 197 CS compared to everyone else on the map as well. He's been farming well. It's still a decent amount of CS up. Gets a tower there. Actually evens up the gold again between that matchup. Problem is now, Ambassador's getting to the point where she just takes over at 2 items. Just as a champion now, Ambassador is stronger at this point in the game. Whereas Renekton on the other side reaches this kind of point, 2 items. This is where you fall off. Arguably, you peak just before this 1 item Renekton is where things go kind of insane. Unless you're going for like the full AD crazy Renekton. I've been watching a bit of God Necton, I think his name is. Streamer, British guy. That guy is really good. He plays like Flash Ignites, like Ghostblade first Renekton. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Ichin was a player on, well, so his name translates, so it's a player on his name, which is, his name is Ichin, and one Jiang in Mandarin, there's pronounced the same, but it also means one sword, and he was a Riven player. Still is a Riven player, doesn't get to play it that much nowadays. The champion's just not very good for pro play. He would play it sometimes in Frank Esports. He was in the PCS before this year on Frank Esports. I think they were about 4th place team over there, or so. Atkan's alive, which is why we're positioning like this. Hi, Chow. Jumping forwards a little bit. Teleport coming down. Multiple teleports coming down. Dominus coming through. Flash forwards onto the carrier. Knockups go wild. Excited is the Jinx. Is there anything to lock them down? There's no Abyssal, and that is a problem. Yes, there's a lot of damage on the Abyssal, but the Jinx goes absolutely nuts. I say that. Junhao's turned it around, gets the damage onto the Jinx, and it's the Sivir who's putting out more damage, flashing forwards, and will finish off the team fight with a triple kill. 3 for Bayer, 2 for Junhao, a full house between the two of them. Tower will be killed. And Ultra Prime find a fight around their Fed AD carry, who is 5-0 and 6, and they'll go on to the Atakan. Oh boy. I was ready to call that fight in favor of the Jinx. I did that far too early. I thought, well, Besserol's been used. Jinx is excited. Surely that's endgame. Nope, not even close. Not even close. I misread that one. So we'll watch it a little bit more slowly again. So what happens here? Teleports come in. Let's flash forward onto the rise. That's not bad. Knockup's good. Jinx starts to go excited. Flash away from the Ambassador. The roll gets onto multiple people. I guess it's just the Jinx free fire. It's just the Jinx. It's just the ricochets. I thought that the and Fish one does go too close to the Shinzo. Yeah, it's a good angle from Junhao. Just effectively one-shots the Jinx. Yeah, that's actually some peak Shinzao gaming. I know the ricochets do the actual damage, but the play of the fight there is from Junhao. Junhao's disruption and his ability to just kind of go crazy onto one target that steps too far forwards is really, really big. I know it's Bayer that puts out the most of the damage, but Junhao, real credit to him. We've been waiting for him to step up. He was a huge player for them early into the split. We're going to jump forward again on Xiaofeng. Impale goes onto the rise. Can they get the reset? Yes, they can. There is no flash for Jinx this time, though, and that could be a problem. Zuka coming into the play, going to the Braum is not exactly where you want to be, and now in comes the Ambassador. Yeah, that's the problem. It's 1-for-1, all things said and done. Mid laner for mid laner. Junhao around the back does have flash, potentially to jump forwards again. Goes forwards onto the carries, and the Civ is behind them. Has a front line, has a shield in front of him, and the Civ does the damage. Ultra Prime, another good fight for them. They are really far ahead in this game. With that last dragon, they put themselves a soul point. They have 27 petals and the Atakan buffing them up. They have an obscenely fed Civ, although not able to match his performance from that last game, sadly, for him. He has to concede. Jinx just doesn't have the damage. Just does not have the damage at this point. Going towards what's likely to be a Lord Dominate's Regards or a multiple remind. Oh, it'll be the Lord Dominate's Regards because it does have that shield there, but likely going towards that next. With the Noon Quiver in inventory. I'm so surprised that LNG have been losing some of these fights, but I suppose they're just not reaching the Sivir. It's not enough to go front to back, and that is a problem because that's what you do mainly with this comp. Alistair, Skarner, both very good at that. Now maybe if you get a good enough Renekton stun, they need to get onto the Sivir. There's no point killing the Rise again. He's 0-4 and he's not the main focus of this. You need to kill the Sivir. The other side for Ultra Prime, keep the Sivir safe. Pretty easy. I think these fights are now about the Sivir. I should have noticed that after the last one. No matter, we shall do from now on. I'm willing to take an L here and there and learn from it alongside you as well. If we get this guy to Worlds, LPL will get so many new fans. Hell yeah. Over to Worlds. You heard it here first. I find that really enjoyable. That'd be great. 3 items on Yijing now. Who has a Serpent's Fang, which shields like they're going to help against, particularly Xiaofeng. It'll help against the... it helps against the Sterax from Zuko. Yeah, that's going to cut the Sterax. That's kind of mean. The Locket as well from it. There's a couple of shields around there. It's a very cheap item too. As long as you have just a couple of shields to break through, it's pretty nice. It means that the 1v1 for the Renekton is pretty unwinnable. You'd have to play around Sterax Channel. I can't remember whether he did bring out the Riven in the last. I think maybe once. Maybe once. I seem to... No, I think you're right, Frogs. That sounds familiar. Someone played Riven in the 1v1s. Jump onto the bot side. Hi, Chow. Jumping away from Junhao. He tags onto him. Jinx ult. Not doing that much, really. Teleport into the mid lane from, I believe that's Ovo actually teleporting into the spell, but yes it is. Wave cure in the mid lane. Pretty massive from both these AD carries. Even in last game, I think Ichian had a great game on the Scion, you know. A grand amounts of that game, I thought he was the best player on the Rift. This time, 5-2-4 on the Ambessa. Quadra kill at the Grubs after catching out the AD carry with an unassisted ultimate, I think it was. Great work from him. What's the play now from LNG? 3 items on the Jinx. You do have the ability to cut through the front line a little easier. And the Ninja Tabi in Junhao. There's not a the thing is, there's not a crazy amount of armor on Ultra Prime. I mean, you still probably do need the pen for that. Yeah. I guess Junhao's going towards a Death Stance next. You want to future-proof your build. 30 seconds till Dragon LNG, no choice but to fight this. It would be the Infernal Soul on the other side, of course. Just charge into the wall. Chompers were there, but they don't get to combo up with it. And Fish One's been jumped onto by Junhao. And that leads into the Ambessa. AD carry dead. That is fight over and likely game with it. Ultra Prime get to roll forwards their own AD carry. Wonderful jump forward from Junhao. I think he's been spectacular this game on the Xin Zhao. In recent series for Ultra Prime, we've been talking about how Junhao's not really been at the level he was last split. Yeah, this is more what we were seeing. Great jump forwards onto that AD carry. Do you have now a 2v3 in mid lane? I think he wins this. I think the Ambessa wins this, and he does get the first kill in a 3v2. LNG can't take down the Ambessa, who's been going absolutely beast mode onto them. Eclipse Shield. Repudiate does good value there. Maybe the first can help. The stand behind me will give some extra resist as the Repudiate coming up. Haichao was thinking about whether he can go for a flash combo, perhaps. Can't quite find it there. Baron taken by Ultra Prime. And they can use that to push into towers, and they can just lazily walk over towards the objective of the dragon later. Teleport into the bot side from Ambessa, who went back to base. No contest from LNG. They have to give up an Infernal Soul. You have to give up the Infernal Soul. Baron, Soul, Atakan's over there too with 30 petals. Yeah, everything's turning up Ultra Prime. What a jump forwards from Junhao. What a jump forwards from him. So he's spotted around here. Can't quite get him onto the Chompers, and Fish One positions very aggressively to try and follow up on that. The Impels even spell shielded as well to add insult to injury. Knock up from the Xin Zhao into the ult from Ambessa. Full CC chain, dead Jinx. LNG, I guess they're just trying to put some defensive vision down. So like has flash, but this is not a Renekton's game anymore. You are past your point of usefulness. Yes, 3 items. I mean, just 3 items beyond anyone's good, but you're realistically peaking around the 1 to 2 item mark. Jump over the wall. Don't really want to be jumping onto the ball. Baya escapes the initial engage. Realm Warp's coming in. Xiaoxia flashes back, and Baya just keeps auto-attacking. Spell shields the Impale, because of course he does. And Zuko won't have much else to say about this either. Sterak's is not going to save the Crocodile. Not nearly the same level of play from him, and the same lead as him. Yes, it is. Yep, eat him. You go do that, my friend. Dives under turret, 1v2, gets a kill as Saber cleans up the other one. It is a clean ace for the side of Ultra Prime. Just about. Held the tongue there. Xiaoxia survives that last turret shot. Don't have any grubs. That's the one objective they didn't get their hands on this game. They'll at least break an inhibitor. 20 seconds left on respawns. I think maybe they could just walk forwards. Baron Buff will keep their wave alive. They have 5 members alive. And yeah, you put up that scream emotes. Ultra Prime will win our second game of the series, and we'll be going to 3 in our first of the day. Ultra Prime looking to get only their second win of Group Nirvana. Same with LNG. Ultra Prime looking for the 2-0 in the head-to-head. The only win they... See if there's any gyros. Why have I loaded up the League Wiki, and why is everything in Comic Sans? What have they done? Solar Flare, 80% AP. 80% AP. What's Jarvan's ult AD ratio? 180% bonus AD. What does that go towards on Silas? 180% bonus. What the hell? Yeah, let's have a look at Silas. Silas's ult ratio. Hijack. Hijacked ultimates with abilities that don't scale with ability power, this is Jarvan's ult, have their attack damage converted to ability power ratios with 0.6 per 1% of AD. Oh, or 0.4% with bonus AD. 0.4% on 108%, that's about, yes, 40% of it total. Still a hell of a lot. There'll still be a ton of it. Barrier used very early on in this bot side. Often is used by the Lucian because it gives him his passive. Heal used as well. Again, using the Lucian passive by using summoners. This is why you use it on the Lucian. You get extra damage on your next auto attacks when you get a heal or a shield. Barrier applies that. Heal applies that. You can see the damage comes through. The Vigilance getting good work. Good bounce, though, from Jhin. Does get damage onto Lucian. Ignite now put down onto Xiaoxia. Ovo and Fish 1 forcing a flash out, too, now. So 3 summoners used by Ultra Prime's bot lane and a hook lands. That could have even forced a flash there. Fourth shot comes through. Bayer turning and fighting, trying to get the last flash in. The double tap does land on Ovo, but it's not enough damage. The kill will come through from Fish 1 as the 2v2 heavily going in favor of LNG. They might be able to turn around a kill onto the Nautilus, but they won't be able to do so. It's 1 for none, losing 3 summoners. Gain all 4 rather. LNG lose 3 summoners of their own. And Ultra Prime thought that they had winning trades with Lucian getting the double tap buffed up by the heals and shields of Barrier and that heal summoner spell. Ultra Prime heavily losing the early 2v2. First kill going over to the Jhin, who's thinking about buying some boots instead. Oh my god, look at that. Coming back into the lane with a longsword and a cloth armor. You kidding me? You can go... how do you play this lane now? It's such good early stats. Such good early stats. It's not like Junhao's going to be able to change that much about it. He still has flash. Can't force onto him nearly as easy. Big mistake from Ultra Prime's bot lane. Big mistake. 0.72 AP ratio on Jarvan. That's insane, given... Yeah. And the base damage is just really high, too. What is the base damage to Jarvan? 200 going up to 450. Yeah, that's nice. Oof. Scuttlecrab being fought over. Xiaofeng will auto and smite it. Junhao potentially looking for a play onto the flashless Nautilus, who is only the level 2. I don't know. It's dangerous playing against that. You might kill the Nautilus, but what happens if you give one back? Resets from the Viego come through. One of the big worries here, by the way, for playing against the Viego is when I look at Viego as a Viego player myself, I look at the enemy team and I think, not just how easy is it for me to kill someone and get the body, get the combo and whatever, but also how valuable is their how are their basic abilities. And I look at the team of Ultra Prime. Every single one of these champions' basic abilities is very, very strong. Kill the Jarvan, instant flag drag back into the enemy team, give your team the attack speed. Really nice. Then you immediately reset after. Lucian's basic abilities are basically 0 cooldown when you get towards later game as well. Leona, one of the strongest basic ability kits in the game. And even Akali, if you land an E, you can go into... that does crazy damage, even though a lot of your damage is your ults. Going into the smoke screen mid-team fight as the enemy Viego is kind of busted too. Every single member of Ultra Prime, I mean, Cassante, get to use that E for the shield, the shunt away. The basic kits of Ultra Prime are so strong that if you give a reset to Xiaofeng, I think the team fight falls apart with it very, very quickly. Top lane, Poppy's doing fine in this matchup. Saving up the buckler, gets the cannon with that. Nice play from Sukka. Leona W gives a balanced amount of resist. It absolutely does. Hell yeah, it does. Yeah, Leona's basic kit is one of the strongest in the game. One of the reasons why I think that Nautilus, if Nautilus is in meta, I think Viego will have a place, is that Nautilus on the other team is such a basic kit, such a good basic kit, and you can use it very well against him, but also Nautilus tends to die on the first engage pretty well. But he also like, if Nautilus goes in, someone's dying, either him or the enemy player, and that's great for Viego, one side of it or the other, right? Because even if you trade 1 for 1, Viego comes out on top, regardless of whether Nautilus is on his team or not. Dragon started, finished by Ultra Prime, they will get themselves onto the board there, however, you know, the spot lane, not really doing what Ultra Prime would have wanted of it. Hey Nim, thoughts on jungle Silas buffs in 0.16? Still don't think his clear speed's good enough, sadly. His clear speed's a little bit rough. I think he loses against all the AD skirmishes early, which makes it quite hard to pick him in pro. I'm sure he'll see some play in solo queue, but between that and the fact that AD mid laners aren't popular right now, very hard to see him played. After last summer, I think right will be quite reticent, which is a great word, by the way, reticent, to make AD mid laners as meta again. What, you have Yone, I guess, but Yone Silas doesn't sound like a strong mid jungle 2v2 for me. You don't really want to... I mean, I guess you could play Yasuo, but I don't think you'd want to. No one's playing Zed, although Zed's actually in a pretty good state right now. Better in jungle than mid lane, though. Ghost picked up by Jeng. Uses that for reasons. Most interesting. So while I think that Silas jungle would be fine in solo queue, I just don't see how it would be played in pro right now. Okay, Hai Chao. Hits the E back onto a minion. Takes a bad trade from Saber. Saber's doing fine in the laning phase. That being said, you know, Hai Chao has the Catalyst, so he's fine. It's quite hard to burst him out. On the other side, the Oblivion Orb first from Saber means that he's pretty fine laning against the Silas. I don't know about this Saber, though. It's hard to get through Nautilus CC onto the backline. It's really hard to get through the Steadfast Presence. Yeah. Hear me out, Naut Jungle also had some buffs, yeah. Although Nautilus Jungle, because he's so high CC, actually would be viable. Nautilus being able to CC people in front of targets, in front of his carries is kind of huge. And also being able to be very tanky from the jungle because you have more income. Nautilus is very tanky when he actually gets gold. Just never does in support, obviously. We saw that with Ivern Nautilus and Senna Nautilus as well when he was the farming version of it. Camp steal from Ultra Prime there. That being said, Xiaofeng still ahead of farm, through his own camps. Jungle Tarek still, I think. Yeah, it is a little bit, isn't it? Although, again, quite hard to make work. Jomonto Ovo does have flashback. They'll try and get the kill here. Good combo through from the Akali. Locked up under tower right now. And this is the problem. What happens if you give reset? Xiaofeng forcing flashes away just by walking up. Summon is used by Ovo. Ult used by Hachao, who stole the Akali ultimate. Ends up being nothing. No one going down. Actually using both summoners there. Grub started by LNG. One-man attempt by Viego. Should be fine on this. Jin's been happily farming on the bot side. Forces away. Will even up the CS discrepancy between him and Baye. Walked away with an MVP from last game, of course. Our MVPs of the series so far were Xiaofeng from game 1 on his Wukong. Baye on Sivir on the game 2. And then this. Yeah, it is one Fireboy versus one 4ND. However, I mean, I wouldn't say this series has been boring. I think LNG are more entertaining than they were before they changed this bot lane out. I think the bot lane changes have worked very well for them. Cannon, can you get that with a Q? Xiaoshi's going to try and deny it, and he will do. That's a little annoying. So the teleport back in, Leona threatening the CC into Akali's combo will deny Hai Chao. Cannon. Spider Naut and a Flag Drag combo. See both players over there. Weirdly dashing at the same time on the same screen without knowing about it. Scuttle being forward over. Xiaosh is here, has level 6, has that solar flare. Xiaofeng. He will last for another couple of seconds, then he'll have to come out of vision. We'll see that. That's a problem. Dashes out of the flag drag, flashes out of the solar flare. Baye on the flank. Xiaofeng ults away. Is it going to be enough to save him? The culling so close, and I don't think he'll be getting away from this Swan. A double tap will send him down into the dark depths of the underworld. And he will die alongside Fish 1. 2 for none. Great trap laid around that bot side Scuttle Crab. The initial disengage wasn't bad from Xiaofeng, but there's way too much waiting for him. Junhao and Xiaosh are able to chase forwards. The same with Baye on a flanking Lucian play. Junhao, well played there to set up that trap alongside Xiaosh. Good Oscar Knights there. I mean, Xiaofeng walks up, puts a ward down, and immediately recognizes his mistake, flashes out of the solar flare, but Baye, I mean, awesome flanking. Capitalism gets the damage down. Xiaofeng can't avoid that in time. Enough culling shots hit to allow him to flash forward and get a double tap auto. Follow up onto the Jin as well. That's a lot of summoners down from LNG too. Yes, Junhao uses his flash. Baye does too, but no. Hai Chao, Fish 1, Xiaofeng, all having no flashes against Saber, who does have his. That's a good sign. And the problem with early game plays like this is Poppy is not there. As a top laner, you do not get the same ability as a Poppy support or Poppy jungler to be around these early skirmishes. Now, in team fights, this won't look like the same kind of fight, because Ultra Prime can't dash forward with as much impunity. But for now, he has to play against Xante. He can't be down there with those fights. Anyone got a link for stats that's actually live and posted? I don't know actually about stuff that's going on. You'll have to just read it off the screen. Post-game, though, after the game's ended, you can see it on gol.gg amongst other sites. I think DPM LOL also has it as well. Yichin retreating under his top turret. About to get himself his first item. Xiaofeng. Not the strongest dive. Oh, Ovo using the ghost to roam quicker. I like it. Tier 1 boots make him a little bit quicker as well. Ghost pop by Yichin. He knows he's in trouble. It's going to be a curtain call, and it might be curtains for Yichin as well. We'll stun into a couple different shots and a reset for the Viego. We'll see him dead on the other side of the map. A very, very dead Silas will join them. Kill goes over to Saber. First kill of the game for him. This has been his choice pick if he can get his hands on it in a good meta. Bayer farming up the mid lane and forcing down another turret plate as well, getting 2 of them. I think on the whole, Ultra Prime get away with more, but no, 3 grubs. Yeah, 3 grubs make the difference, don't they? How many plates they get? They're getting a 4th one off this top turret now. Should be able to get the full 5th. Jarvan's going to be walking up. Teleport will come in. They killed the turret. I think they should kill the turret. I think you should have killed the turret there, maybe. Guess they're afraid of Junhao coming up with Cataclysm. Turret will die anyway from the 3 grubs. They do, in fact, kill the turret. I just mistimed the DOT. Ultra Prime will lose the full top turret there. And now the feats of strength will come in to the next objectives. The kills went to Ultra Prime. First tower went to LNG. Next objective for Ultra Prime will get them feats of strength. 2 would be needed from LNG. So that would be Atakan, Dragon. Herald spawn just yet? Yeah, Herald as well. Those are the ones which are coming up soon. Yes, Spirit, you are completely right in that. The grubs make a large difference, don't they? I should have stocked up on Red Bull, folks. I'm having coffee. And do be helping, but sometimes you need that Chemtech Rift buffed. I'm just saying, like, Chemtech Rift is just what happens if you just water the whole map with an energy drink. It's the Monster Energy Blasco. The Scryer's Red Bloom. Red Bloom? Red Bull? Nah, it's not quite close enough. Almost there, though. Junhao on bot side. Has Fly Drag, has Cataclysm. Saber has his ult too. Perfect execution stolen by Highchat. Uses the E to dodge it. Wow, that's a hell of a lot of sidesteps. Highchat makes it out safe. But does you lose the hijack? And the most important one there, of course, in the perfect execution, which is the big one, which Silas wants to use. Drink water. I shall do Fairy Tail. I appreciate it. I'll do that. Great. Coffee, Ko-Fi. Donate now. I like the way you think, Amber. I like the way you think. We did have a donation on Ko-Fi earlier today. I was very, very thankful for that. It was from Bombadil. I appreciate that a lot. Fighting over the mid lane wave now. Okay, so we get to see. Ko-Fi beats to cast LPL too. You know what I have? It is a, and look, it's a lot easier to cast at low energy, right? And at the start when we were doing different doing the LPL co-stream and stuff, there were points where I'd be a lot more chill, and I'd be sat like here, having a little bit of a lower voice, stuff like that. And there was definitely an audience which enjoyed that, and it definitely helps the voice a little bit. But then again, I feel like it doesn't deliver on the energy as much. I appreciate you all being here and enjoying it at the same time though. Hey, Trent back. Good to see you. Nice to see all of the regulars in chat, of course. Hope you're enjoying yourselves over on Onivia's broadcast as well. ASMR Mera. We have ASMR as the way I would put it. ASMR, and there's also Nima Masume. G2 gave me that one. Yeah, they tweeted at me. I had a very funny tweet at G2. They posted like a picture of a red, like a horse, and stood next to an F1 car, and it was like GX and Scrims versus GX on stage. I'm like, Gold Ship X seconds after beating G2, and I posted the dropkick gif. It was great. Palmera. Yeah, it's a good one. I'm going to use Calm Mind and get special attack boost. It's going to be great. Playing across all lanes right now. Neither team really wanting to walk into the enemy team, which makes sense. I think If you're walking into the enemy grouped up team, you're probably losing. Ultra Prime walking into something like a Poppy, that sucks. Into Nautilus as well, Jin as well. Yeah, stuff like this. It's going to be a problem. Catch out on both sides. John Heckle on one, Xiaofeng on the other. Both junglers forced to go out, and that culling does a lot of damage, but doesn't kill. Viego forced to flash away from Ovo. Did G2 have games this week? No, they didn't. They made a joke about them switching Broken Blade and Skewmon for week 1. And they said that they'd try it for week 1. Of course, they have no games, so I actually got caught out by that shitpost. It was a good one. Hi, chat. Dodging out on that E. F1 cars have hundreds of horses, and I can't pet any of them. You're so right for that. Some of them even have bulls. Although for some reason they're red, like the Dairy Lee Dunker's cow. Who will win? That's a great question. It's pretty even right now. I think Ultra Prime going into the populator can really suck, but then again, they do have pretty good damage from Akali and Lucian if they get going. LNG really need to get Viego resets, and Xiaofeng's been locked out pretty effectively. He's going for that Collector second, which I'm not a big fan of. I suppose it's good against Bayo and Saber, but even then, Saber's likely to go towards the Zhonya's, which is giving him enough armor to make that less good. Dragon spawning. And look how LNG, they don't want to be stuck in the Dragon Pit. Not against the Leona, really. And the Jarvan as well. Jarvan Leona is a heck of a good engage combo to punch down on people who are stuck in one area of the map. LNG trying to control the choke point. Hook lands onto the Jarvan. Oh, that is a problem for Ultra Prime. If he dies, that reset is very valuable. He goes down. Where's the reset? Great triple knockback, though, from the Cassante. The reset comes through now, and the flag drake's not fantastic. Popbell doesn't get that much done. Ultra Prime do a good job of making sure the reset is not that valuable. It is still jungle for support, though. LNG lose the less valuable member. Ultra Prime lose their jungler with that objective up. So Ultra Prime will go back towards the mid lane, try and delay until Junhao is alive again. And we'll see if we can go again. Fire clearing through that wave. Scary stuff for Ultra Prime. They very nearly gave up an optimal Jarvan reset. I think Ichin getting a triple W knockback. I think it was the Pathmaker, which ended up being the difference maker there, realistically. So what happens here? So the hook lands. Exhausts, chains, everything. Then watch this from Ichin. That triple knockback. That saves the fight. That saves the fight. If that doesn't come through, the damage, the displacement, the stop of the immediate reset, the CC's there, I think that loses them the game if that happens. So Ichin, very disengaged. Ultra Prime gets towards the dragon first now. Oh, come on. The clean feed just stuttering just a little bit. It's happening a little bit long the last couple of days. And oh, come on. We'll just see if anything's up onto here. Please show me something. How do I interact with this? We'll do this, and hopefully this will load at the same time. This is the backup, and this is what I had it there for. There we go, cool. That'll work for now. That'll work for now. And we'll wait until the media source comes back through. It is live again now, so we'll close that off. We'll go back towards this. Oh my god, I need to really turn that down. Oh my god, that is not helpful at all. Please, oh for the love of God, get that out of here. And that'll help a little bit. Ugh, Jesus. Really loud for some reason. Sorry about that. When the clean feed dies, I try and switch over to a browser tab. That's not very helpful. My apologies on that one. Turns out the clean feed a little bit stuttery over here. 3 dragons taken for Ultra Prime. Even-ish in gold still. Oh, hang on a second. What the hell is happening here? Oh my god, what is happening? What is happening indeed? That is all over the place. Let's dive in that bot side. Fish 1 getting a jumped onto. And he'll go down. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to quickly restart things after this fight because the audio is horribly desynced. Zucker trying to disengage, but it's not nearly enough. Too many people have gone down at this point, I think, in the fight. Too many HP bars. And god, sorry about the production issues, folks. We'll go through into this and hopefully that'll be fine. What the heck is happening on the rest of this? I have no idea what's happening there. That'll help. Holy crap. Sorry about that, folks. Something's happening with the rest of the stuff. Hopefully that's fine now. Okay, I think we're fine again now, folks. Sorry about that. No, it's not fine again. Okay, I'm gonna have to quickly change some stuff over. Hopefully this is fine. Oh my god, sorry folks. So sorry. Everything's going very strange on the media production side of things. Down as well. Okay, 1 second. Where are you? Here we go. There we go. That should be fine now. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that one. There we go. Fine again. Basically what happened was the backup is very, very loud, apparently. So I won't be doing that again. My bad. Basically, if the clean feed starts to stutter, I try and switch over to a browser tab. Instead, in that one, it came on very loud, and then for some reason, even though I turned it off, it didn't go off. So that's the thing. Anyway, less about that. Atakan spawn. Ultra Prime took good fight. I actually missed a lot of the important stuff in that fight because of the craziness and everything. Saber is now 3-0-1 on the Akali. This Poppy needs to do more to shut them out. Sylas versus Akali. Yep, game 3, Sylas versus Akali. There's a Poppy trying to stop it, but the Poppy's not exactly been that valuable just yet. LNG just exploded alongside the stream. Yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it. Wave being pushed in towards top side, be collected by LNG. There's been a lot of just ping-ponging waves in this game. It's not been constant playmaking. No stop onto the Cassante recall. There's only one Poppy for 5 of them. That's a very good point, guys. We mentioned that in Draft 2, basically saying, yes, Poppy is an anti-dash champion. Which dash do you prioritize stopping? Is it the Akali? Is it the Lucian when you get on top of him? Probably the Lucian, actually, if you can get on top of him. Is it Jarvan Flag Drag? Well, he can actually use his ultimate to cancel his Flag Drag and go unstoppable. That means that your W is not very useful. Of course, the Leona E, stopping them from following up with something like that Shield of Daybreak can be very powerful too in certain situations. Cassante Pathmaker is E. All of these things are valuable. But which one do you choose? That's the hard choice. Which dash do you choose to stop? That will be the decision-making of Zerka later. Dragon up in a minute would be Camtech Sol for Ultra Prime. With a game like this, when you're playing against the Sylas Viego combo trying to burst you down, Camtech Sol is very valuable. Having the extra heal and shield power, not as valuable. Quite useful for Ichin, I suppose, with his footwork shield. And then, of course, the tenacity for a few different things. Jin W and the like. W lands onto Jarvan. Will we see LNG get the reset teamfight they've been looking for? Or will Saber actually pay off the Akali, I suppose, ego pick a little bit? Is there any way LNG even come back from here? Sylas is so far behind, doesn't seem like a comeback angle. I mean, you have 2 items on the Sylas, so it's not like you're... And let's be honest, a stolen ult is still a stolen ult. If you steal a solar flare and you manage to stun someone important, that's still a stolen solar flare. He shouldn't be using the FPX execution now, I don't think. Well, I guess he can. The base damage is very high. Dragon's going down. LNG need to find a way to engage before the soul goes down. I'll Saber on the flank. Hydra trying to match him, gets the perfect execution. Dragon gets stolen by Xiaofang. No soul for Ultra Prime. What's happening in the rest of the fight? Saber, the big gold lead, is shut down, and suddenly the Sylas is back in the game. Soulfly comes through, and Ichen trying to clean up the AD carry will be able to maybe get him. Where are the rest of the resets for LNG? Xiaofang not going to need them, I don't think. A W land onto Eject. It will be no soul for Ultra Prime. Ultra Prime trying to flash out, getting some combos down. Eject doing his best. The Cassante getting some regen through. That all out. The Flag and Drag gets the kill, even if it's stopped by the Poppy W. And 2 kills to Eject maybe opens up something like a Baron on spawn if they win this hard enough. Flag Drag over the wall. Zucker, I don't think he's going to die to this. I think Junhao needs to back off. I think they really need to go towards something like the Atakan or the Baron. They don't get the Dragon, but they do narrowly win the fight. I think in the 3-for-1, all in all. Junhao will go towards that top side, and Ultra Prime should make a beeline towards the Atakan. Ichian has had a wonderful series, folks. If you've not watched Game 1 and Game 2, his Sion in Game 1, his Ambassador in Game 2, he, I think, has been the best player of the series across all 3 games. Circa teleports up there. I think Junhao made a mistake over-chasing onto the Poppy. Should have really gone towards the objective after the fight was won. Saber getting shut down in the way that he did made things much more of an open question. LNG managed to get the hook onto Ichin, who's trying to hold that thing in there. The 4th shot, the 4th shot's blocked, but then the flash smite comes through from Xiaofang, ults out of the pits. And Saber's flank is just mistimed. It's a mistimed flank. Saber died in the duration of the CC. No outplay for him there. Xiaofang had that Akali reset. Not necessarily getting the most value out of the Akali body there, actually. He uses E to go into the play. I think he should have used that to try and connect me on someone else. But then also Ichen, that Pathmaker, again, like another 3-man. Gets a 3-man Q3, goes into his all-out. Ichen just 1v5. This guy's so good at League of Legends at times. His series today has been very, very good. So no Atakan was taken. I think, yeah, a bit of an overchase from Junhao at the end of that play. I think they could have gone towards the Atakan. They didn't set up in time for a fight in the top side jungle. Solar Flare stolen. No. I was wondering if that was stolen solar flare because there was a stun onto Xiaoxia there, but no. Xiaofeng ulted away though. No Viego ult does change things. No culling, no solar flare from Xiaoxia. I guess he ulted himself there actually. No big engage tool for him. Now you don't need the Viego ult to get the resets. Now, it's obviously very important. It's a lot of his damage. Poppy ult missing. No disengage from that. Tanking the Atakan might come down to a smite. Xiaofeng doesn't really want to go in there. Has no smite from the last fight. Good damage onto Ichian, but he's able to tank things up. Pathmaker forwards. Akali starting to get rolling. Has that E, and this time Saber is not caught out. The Atakan doing a lot of damage. Baye almost killed by Atakan. A self-kill by a shot instead from the curtain call. Saber trying to get the damage, flashing over the wall to kill out Haicha, but he escapes as well. He gives himself up as a reset. Now there's the Akali on the other team, and the Shroud and the Kunai and everything flies into the backs of Ultra Prime as 4 go down. They find their end at the Atakan. It's an Intercan angle again as LNG outfight on the top side of the map. They couldn't quite get themselves the fight around the Dragon despite getting themselves the smite secure on the Soul Dragon. Away from Ultra Prime. They get themselves a much better fight around the Atakan this time. Get themselves that 4 kills and the Atakan itself. Like, Atakan is just where games go to die. It has been a tough year of teams trying to get used to playing around an objective that is not in the objective pit. There's so many different openings to it. It's different terrain. It damages you so much when you're tanking it. It shreds you. Ultra Prime think they can get an extended fight down the river. They just can't into the Poppy, who has a great steadfast presence. Last shot lands onto the Lucian. Reset comes through as Xiaofeng gets the Leona. Can't quite get the full playthrough, but it gives him the mobility of just using ults over the wall. Saber kind of knew his dead to rights there. Don't know how. Not quite able to finish off Haichao either. Very close on that one. LNG walk away with a huge fight, despite Ichen having another good fight on the Cassandra. He is trying his goddamn best. Cassandra getting top damage in a team fight is not normal. Ult in the mid lane. Cleanse away from Fish 1. Zucker coming into the mid lane. This Poppy has become more valuable. Early game we said, yeah, well, one of the problems is Poppy can't be at your fight. That's the problem. They have to be in top lane, laning. Ichian, 1,000 gold behind, but you wouldn't tell it from the impact he's having. Zucker on the other side, it's not like he's having a bad game either. Both top laners having very good team fights so far. 20 seconds till the Dragon. Ultra Prime would love the Soul. Saber's still fed. 2.5 items going on 3. Xiaoxia, oh, Haichao. Cast that E behind him, Saber. Could potentially cast an E over the wall. Oh, a good flank angle. Xiaofeng's on a flank angle too, though. Remember those resets. Remember those resets. Top laners doing the Lord's work. Saber's still off of vision. They haven't pinged him out. He doesn't have flash. He can open up one flank. Does change things. The Monster Energy Blast gun punts him back into the river. Does punt Junhao back into the river. Xiaoxia walking up. I don't think his Soul Flare's up just yet. Spotted now on the flank. Dragon started up. Ovo goes very, very low and Saber's into the backline. First kill goes down. The Steadfast Presence time's out, and that's a kill onto the Viego. No more resets. Ultra Prime not going to fall for the team fight foibles they did around the Atakan. Dragon started up, 2 kills. Should be the Dragon on top of it. And with no jungler, it's not like LNG can really do a counter Baron or something like that, especially with 2 people down. Be absolutely not something they can do. Chemtech Soul claim for Ultra Prime at 29 minutes. And Ultra Prime have only won 1 series in Group Nirvana. It was versus LNG in the first round robin. If they were to do this, they'd be 2-0 versus LNG, who only won 1 game so far. Flash away now from Fish 1. Use that cleanse on the last Solar Flare. He has to use his flash on the second one. Baron now started up by Ultra Prime. Xiaofeng dead for another 10 seconds. Haichao Zucker can teleport into position if they want. Haichao's pushing the top lane in a turret. Is there going to be a fight? There's no fight steal available. Zucker's alone. Zucker's alone. I mean, they just let him go. There's no support here. Top lane in a turret, pushing in mid lane as well. LNG made the decision. We cannot contest the Baron, not without a smite. We'll push in towards an inner turret instead. Saber can't cancel this. Long time since the Akali R1 had a mini stun on it. Do you remember that? The Akali R1 having a mini stun and was untargeted? That champ was so busted. How the hell did they let that champion release in the state she did for the rework? But it's going to be inner turret and top lane traded for Baron, and so I believe some damage on the mid lane inner turret as well. Not that I think that LNG can return to get that tower, though. Ultra Prime. Chemtech Soul. Baron taken. Getting huge items soon onto Baye, who's going towards a Infinity Edge. Fish 1, who went for the Youmu's first. Has the Lord Dominates regards, but with the rapid fire cannon, doesn't have something like a like an Infinity Edge. using that fire cannon because he's a little scared to walk up into range of Akali, Lucia. I get that, but also your damage profile is just kind of low now. Was there anything old Akali couldn't do? I mean, this was like release rework Akali, where your ult was an untargeted dash with a mini stun on it, mixed damage with a ton of base damage. It was absolutely insane. But Q at max rank would do, or no, cast at max energy would like heal you and do more damage to minions. It was a mess. It was a real mess. Ultra Prime pushing in mid and bot lane. But yeah, release Akali on the rework was disgusting. Old Akali was also kind of broken, by the way. Gunblade was disgusting on it. There was some really fun tech where you could do the mark of the assassin, your Q. Wait a second or two, then dash in, eat a proc. Oh, like you could throw your Q, dash in because your ult was faster than your Q projectile. Proc the first mark. The second one would land, you proc it again, and just one-shot something. It was insane. You did just insane amount of damage. And then your ult would actually give you an extra charge if you... because it had like 3 charges. If you got a kill, it would give you a charge back. It's kind of insane. Viego ahead 1.6k is fake, considering Jarvan is more useful. Yeah, because also you have a Collector. You have a Lord Dominance regards, but the Collector is... feels a bit crap into the amount of armor on the other side, you know? And even Lucian's got upgraded Tabi. But the food boots of strength Tabi. It's not been upgraded just yet. I mean, having the Lord Doms and the Collector means you're at 50% crit. It's not bad in that sense, but you'd much rather not have a Collector and just have another crit item now at this point, really. Trunk in the mid lane. Good damage there from the Jhin traps onto buy it. Do you have any lifesteal? It does have a little bit. There's no steadfast presence. Stun comes in. That is a lot of CC. Does he ever have the ability to get in time? The Poppy, notoriously tanky. When you get low HP and you proc that W, does manage to get through. The Jhin W, sadly, on the other side does... 0 damage. 0 damage at all. Saber pushing out that top side, level 16. 2,000 gold ahead of the Sylas matchup. LNG. They looked so good yesterday against LGD. Zucker had some insane games. Yeah, Poppy gets more resist when you proc her W at low, when you use her W at low HP. I think it's when you're low, below a third HP, your resistances go through the roof. So finishing off a Poppy is very, very hard when she's actually full tanky. It matters less when you're a jungle because you have less resist in general, but yeah. Do people remember old Poppy? The one that had the diplomatic immunity, who could choose one target, and that's the one person that could damage you. So you choose someone like a Soraka on the enemy team and just go absolute ape on the backline. It was insane. Because you still had the wall stun, you still had like a hammer slam thing as well. Poppy with was there even a crit Poppy build? I'm trying to remember, but there was like some burst Poppy builds that just randomly one-shot you. LNG looked good yesterday season as well. Yeah, I mean, not too long ago, this team was in quarterfinals at Worlds, which, yes, I know they bombed out to Weibo, but they went undefeated in Swiss stage. Year before that, I mean, they were 5 games in finals versus JDG in Summer. Yeah, no, I mean, Scout on LNG was so good at the Yone Aurora matchups in the Worlds last year. LNG looked like they were set to go. And then I think they ran into an issue where they qualified so early for Swiss stage, they didn't really get enough... They spent a lot of time off stage before they were on the quarterfinals, and I think that much time away from stage really affected them weirdly. I think the teams which went straight out of... Weirdly, the teams which went straight out of Swiss stage into quarterfinals did a little better on the whole. Because they were kind of like keeping up the momentum. And she'll engage in the mid lane. Dragon spawning, Elder spawning in 20 seconds. Okay then, folks, we are Elder flipping. Do you smell the burgers? Well, I don't. My nose is a bit blocked. Flash forward for a hook. It goes on to Jarvan. It's not the most valuable. Where's the Poppy ultimate? Oh, it's not going to do anything because Ichin ends up cancelling it out and going unstoppable with his own Pathmaker. I feel like LG get the worst off of that, but the HP bars aren't fantastic on Ultra Prime. Some damage came through onto them. Elder potentially started. Now, LNG, they don't really want to push up mid lane and go for a turret trade because giving up Elder is way too valuable. High Chow, level 17. Poppy ult has come back off. Cooldown, it goes onto the engages. The Poppy's, the Leona's gone. Who else has gone with them? It's the top lane, but they can't engage during that time. Oh, it looks so good for a little while. Saber
gets into the backline. Not stop this time. Cataclysm into the box to them. Where is the rest of the Akali damage? There it is! Into the backline. Great damage from the fourth shot. Can he clean up the rest of the fight? Does he need to? Fish one, he needs some DPS. I don't think it's enough. I think LNG might have run out of steam. Saber's flank onto the backline. Might have just saved Ultra Prime the fight. The Poppy ultimate, I thought that could determine things, but LNG couldn't find a fight in time. John Howe dead, though. John Howe dead. 2 for 1. No smites on the board. Ultra Prime perhaps feeling like they can't finish off the dragon. The Elder will not be taken. Teleport back into the play from the Poppy. And Ultra Prime choose not to go towards the Elder Dragon. Even with the numbers advantage, afraid of the no smite. Because the Poppy ult was cancelled earlier, it went on a lower cooldown. Thought it didn't work like that unless you self-cancelled it. I guess it does. Came back on that lower cooldown. Flash in. Tried to get some damage onto the double backline. Cataclysm forcing the retreat and sealing Ovo and Zucker into the play. Flag drag over the top again. Just because that flag drag was a little too deep. That was a little too deep because, I mean, the damage from Saber's insane. Misses a Q that maybe could have killed him if he'd hit those last 2 Qs. Guys, we should be going to another Elder flip just after this point. I mean, it's still up. Respawns have come through. Elder's available. So, what summoners do we have available? A teleport from Nautilus. Yeah, that's useful. Guess you can teleport for a flank. Flash on Poppy is huge for a flash wall stun. Xiao Xie flash on Leona. Also true. That's also good. Everything else is down. Very little. What happened in the play here? Is there a culling use? There was a culling use. Okay, so culling's down. Wait. Baya's dead. Hang on a second. Whoa. Baya's dead. I didn't even check that. He just ends up getting fourth shot. Fishwall just removes him from the field of play. This is why you don't have replays over important moments like this. Elder now taken down. You have no AD carry. You have no AD carry. There's a popular away. The Elder Dragon now being started and put down low. Saber not wall stun, but there's so much damage and Saber goes down. How can any other team lose like this? It could go to smite range, but John Howe, the hero, takes the Elder. Ultra Prime will lose the fight. It's a triple to Xiaofeng, but the Elder is at least picked up by Ultra Prime. It's not on Baya, though, is it? I think it is. I didn't see it on the right-hand side. There is an Elder on Lucian. Is that enough to save the game? Is that enough to save it? Ultra Prime, how does Baya die at such a critical juncture? How does he die like that? It is a 2v4 Nexus defense. Guardian Angel picked up by Baya. That could be crucial. Trying to use the culling now, I suppose. It's not fantastic. Zucker not taking that much damage walking up. Remember, he does have the Elder. They're taking him down low. The Elder is threatening. And it'll take 1. It'll take 2. Baya making up for previous mistakes. GA popped. Hai Chao sticking around, wanting to get out of the base. We'll just buy the GA. And then that'll be enough. The GA is enough to save the game, though, from Ultra Prime. The Elder buff on Baya, it's not showing on the right-hand side of your screen. Typically shows around like it is around Xiao Xie. There's a graphical bug on that. Now they're Jesus Christ, we're teleporting in. Ultra Prime with Death Timers onto Xiaofeng and onto Zucker. We'll try and push in to use that Elder buff with a minute left to potentially end the game. 5v3. Now they are on the offensive side of the game-ending advance. Curtain calls ended early. Xiao Xie could have walked up and threatened an ult to close that off. This has been only the first series today, folks. Inhibitor taken. 10 seconds on Zucker and Xiaofeng. Is it enough time? Ichen going to go in. Hai Chao, he's low HP, and the Elder is ticking on him. Fish 1 trying to get some damage onto Saber, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The disengage comes through, and Fish 1 cannot stick around for a fourth shot. The towers are oh so low, and Ultra Prime, the anti-clutch team, finally find their moment. Zucker's and Poppy ultimate will not be enough to save the game, I don't think, question mark. No, it won't be. Ultra Prime will find themselves at 2 and 4, and LNG, their revival is short-lived. They will go to 1 and 6. On to the rift for our second series of the day. Anyone's Legend slumping in our split 3. Drama surrounding things in the last day or two yet to be cleared up. FPX bring Milky Way back, but he has not been the silver bullet. See those gyros. Turns out when you live in an apartment block, closing the door is quite nice for neighbors, even though it's during the day. Appreciate it, thank you. All right, on to the rift we go. Any level 1 plans from the Brawn? They walk up, put a ward down. No sweeper from Jway, so you won't be spotting that one out. They're pinging it out, so they know it's there. But can't clear it, can't do much about it. You know, sometimes I play Shockblade Z just for the pink ninja chroma.
Yeah, I like that one. Sometimes, like, you know, sometimes you gotta go Mortal Kombat on them. Shockblade Z was... I mean, I know Mortal Kombat is not... It's a little derivative itself, but that was a good one. Milky Way starting with the E, starting on Wolves. Knows that that's off of Vision. Occasionally, when you want to take a less scouted path, you'll start Wolves, because it's harder to ward Wolves, and most people don't, rather. Level 1. Hope I managed to get a Q through the wave. I think Kyle gets a Q on target. But the minions are the priority from Hope. The poke from the Q is nice enough. Running away a little bit now. You can see that, yeah, the Nymaera struggling a little bit to get presence in lane. Starting with that Q. Q start has been very common in LPL 80 carries, because it means that if fights ever go long, you pop Ghost and you run at them with the extended attacks. Mortal Kombat was original when it came out. I'm sorry, Kung Fu movies did the whole, like, a lot of the... Okay, no, doing it in the brutality that it was kind of insane. I do want to go back and watch some of the really, like, formative Kung Fu works, though. So that's what informed, you know, lots of things which came after. Lots of action movies. Hope having a dash stresses me out, even though he's always been a Lucian player. That's true. His Corki has often left me on the edge of my seat in both positive and negative ways. His Kai'Sa has done that mostly in positive ways. God, his Kai'Sa's been good. Tarzan walking from bot side to top side, contesting Milky Way. Milky Way started on his Wolves, cleared his bot side, and Tarzan says, okay, I'm going to trap you in here. His Q's on cooldown now. It's a very long cooldown at the first rank. Shank's bad trade against Care there, which means he's going to be less likely to respond, but has pots to keep ticking. Krog's going to get started. I mean, Tarzan just hit level 3. Gremlin mode activated. Can he smite it with a chomp? Should be able to. Double knock up in the bot side, but Brawn passive threatened, so he has to back off. What happened on the top side? We didn't see who got the smite. I think it was Tarzan, because he's got the bigger number, 14 to 13. Presume that some of it went up towards Milky Way. Has the spellbook in jungle. You have to as the Sejuani against the Trundle. There is no option there. This was, you know, the first time I saw this was Tarzan versus SKT in Griffin versus SKT. Would have been in one of the 2019 finals. I remember him picking it out in an LCK finals, spellbook Sejuani. That was one of the first times I ever saw it. So Tarzan has history with the Sejuani on that. Bot lane dominance a little bit from Hope and Jachi. I say lane dominance a little bit. It's kind of a bit antithetical, isn't it? Lane dominance a little bit. Lane blur. Milky Way will get his red buff. So he loses half a camp. Trundle won't be able to fight for bot scuttle. I mean, Shanks just teleported back in, so he's going to keep mid-prio up. No fighting over the bot scuttle. No capes. I'm amazed. I'm so amazed how insanely cooked Milky Way's looked this year. He was so good last year. But boy, what happened? I will say, I think his second split already wasn't great last year. Although there were considerations. Maybe it was about the Xiaolahu FPX manager drama. We were thinking, okay, maybe there's a problem with that. I think what we're seeing now is perhaps not. From what we were seeing, I think it was Xiaolahu and Hacker were on a stream sometime last split, and they were talking about that that FPX team. And Xiaolahu was saying, like, actually, a lot of that team was about bot lane, which was Dokdam and Life, playing in such a way that jungle just never had to be burdened. It was all about bot lane getting pressure, playing stuff like Ashe Rumble, hyper lane pressure. They'd be the ones taking the L's, if anyone, and that allowed Milky Way to play with much less pressure on him. And I think that without that now, I think playing as he kind of has to be the guy calling the shots. He has to be the one leading the charge. I think we're seeing that his style is a lot harder when he has to be the one carrying the burden. Shank's using that E to get some damage forwards. Could trade onto Care there. He's going to be forced to back off. Does have teleport. Will be safe. Oh, yeah, I miss Life's Rumble support as well. One passive coming through. Good damage there. Dro will tank the wave. Open Kyle doing well on the spot side. There is a cull from Jachi. He knows he's just going to be soaking pressure for a little while and just saying, okay, just collecting wave at turret. Kaz teleported back into mid, has level 6. Behind a little bit of farm, but nothing major. Azir will slide forwards in mid lane. Lose 1 CS there, but he managed to get the last 4. We'll be up about a full wave. Kaz going to try and W the minion. Hang on a second. He actually he gets 3 of the small raptors. That's really annoying. Do people remember? Was this season 5? Where Victor first came into meta, and Talia was first in there too, I think. Or maybe it was season 6 then at that point. I think Talia was season 6, right? Where mid laners, an Aurelion Sol, and they would start by going to enemy raptors, and what Victor could do was auto, take one small raptor, and take it away from
enemy jungle, which meant that if they went for that camp, they wouldn't get a level breakpoint. It was so crucial. Taleo could do the same and take all of them, actually. Ults through into the mid lane. Great shuffle from Shanks, though. I mean, it's ult for ult and nothing more. That should have been more. Milky Way wasting a little bit of time there. Tarzan on the dragon. Shanks, because he survived with so much HP, can keep pushing mid lane. It's not like anyone else is coming over to contest that much. And Milky Way will lose that attempt at doing something on mid lane. Dragon will go down, and Anyone's Legend healthily laning. They've not got a CS deficit in top side. They have a CS lead in mid and bot lane. FPX getting a little bit, a little bit outlaned right now, and they've not been able to find the first big player of the game to get them out of lane. Yeah, Karzul, the actual topic and stuff, that's not too bad. It's just the way that they communicated was really quite bad. And it went on for like 2 hours and stuff, and it got quite bad. So, and the person who was involved with themselves made a post about it. That's also been translated on, well, not translated, it's on Twitter. You can Google Translate and get some details from that. Anyway, I'm not going to mention that during the cast. We talked about it a little bit before. This time is for gameplay, and we'll figure out the I guess, drama off the rift somewhere elsewhere. You can zoom back in the VOD if you do want to hear a little bit more about it. First items... looking like it's going to be, you know, wave cleariness from Flandre. Ornn has ended up being pretty good into Rumble, you know. If you're a good Ornn player, you actually get the most out of that matchup. It's not that bad. Milky Way. Is that Warmog's first? Warmog's used to build out of that Crystal Bracer. I'm not great on tank itemization, but I do remember that. You know, there were points where Sojani would just go like Knight's Vow or Redemption instead. Cull getting stacked up from Jachi. Care not roaming up towards topside just yet. FPX are potentially contesting grubs, but they're a little slow to it. They walk through the choke point. It's one of the dangerous points of contesting this. Care doesn't have ult just yet. Loses a bit of his HP. Culling's not bad from Hope. Good damage. I mean, that is a full channel Culling. Gets every single shot on target. Going on to the Trundle. Can they get the kill? No, they can't quite yet. He's surviving a very long time, and perhaps that's enough. 2 kills now up to the side of FPX, though, and Jachi gets to run forwards with a Q active and a transcended form. The Yunara is not caught, and the Yunara will get a ton of damage. 3 kills to the Yunara, and Jachi will be ahead of the game. FPX will not be able to claim the grubs. Anyone's Legend do get 3 of them. That was a win in the objective sense, but losing 3 kills to the Yunara, we know scales so well. That is not something which Anyone's Legend nearly wanted to do. So what happens here? I thought this was, you know, FPS get past the choke point, go onto the Trundle, and it's like 2 people caught in the same choke points, and Jachi's just untouched. I mean, let's be honest, it's basically just the Yunara's untouched. Has Ghost, so he can have the extended fight potential as well. Dashing about the place. Yeah, I don't know. Anyone's Legend, you need to make sure that the Yunara is caught. Yunara is not a target you can ever leave untouched. You have to think of it like a Kog'Maw. If Kog'Maw is ever actually doing damage, you must stop them doing damage. That's your rule of thumb. Recalling on a wall. She'll be able to stop the Electro Harpoon. Hope forced her back. The only person that didn't die at that last fight. AL are about to get the tier 1 Worlds buff. What? By losing in regular season then somehow scaling into Worlds? Yeah, maybe. 1.5k lead to FPX. Dragon a minute and a half. Herald in a minute in 4.5 minutes. That's a little further off. First item for Jachi. We've seen Yunara builds kind of go towards the Blade first now. There were some things about Essence Reaver potentially, Kraken Slayer potentially. Blade's better because I think when you get the Q bounce, getting the multiple Blade procs is just insane. AL without Tarzan is Snake with no head. Tarzan is the general of Anyone's Legend. They are the strategists. And the problem is that the swing back of that is, if they're the strategists and their strategy goes awry because, you know, Tabe is not getting good drafts or Tarzan's not in the right place at the right time, things start to fall apart. They're caught out here. Kyle doesn't... Well, he's got an exhaust. He doesn't have flash, though. It's another easy kill. Milky Way flies out of nowhere, and By the way, I just completely thought it was hard steal out the crystalline base, so that's my bad. Oopsies. Hang on a second. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Hits the W on there as well. You can just kill him, potentially. Flash from Hope, held on to. Jadchi. Bloody hell, that blade spike is nasty. He's doing that with a cull. No first item in for Hope just yet. He can't turn and fire. W almost gets the kill there as well, trying to snipe it out, much like that Zeri W through the wall. Holy moly. Bush baiting in topside now. 0 to 5 in kills. Ult pops onto Sheer. He has no flash. He should die here. Shanks will just put up the soldiers. That'll be a dead rumble. Good bush bite. As one last chomp will do it. Would like to give it over to the Azir. Not able to do so. Instead taken up by Tarzan. One of the things we were saying just before this. The flash was blown by the... Okay. Blown by the ult. I was wondering why the flash was gone. Must have happened during the midst of something else. No worries, Brackish. You enjoy XCOM. Hang on a second. Ulting through there, forcing the flash. Yeah, that was scary. Care has had a lot of Yone bans against him recently. He's a good player of the champion. The thing about Care is that Care's actually a good player of a bunch of champions. It's just whether he shows it on any given day. He's, for me, at peak, top 5 Ahri player in the world. He's, at points, been a great Azir. At points, been a wonderful Tristana. His Yone is very notable. It's just any given day you can drop off to half of his form. Dragon will be taken. Sejuani is very good at taking objectives when there's a melee with you to keep activating that E passive. Plate was not secured there, I think, actually. I don't think anyone was around for the gold there in mid lane. Kennig Rooker in for Flandre. So he'll be able to kind of take a hard trade on one wave, back off, come back in. Harder when you're against the Yone, because it doesn't do nearly as much magic damage. His auto attacks alternate between magic and physical. His W does half physical, half magic damage. And the Q does something similar. So he does do... You know what? I can actually check this up. You know, if you go on gol.gg, it will tell you, in pro games at least, how much damage is physical and how much is magic, which I think is really cool. And true damage as well. I'll give you like a damage breakdown of the champion. So you search up the champion on that site and it'll do that. So for instance, Yone is about 16% magic damage. You know, it's not bad, you know. And a decent amount is true damage too, because it comes from his E pop back. Technically, it's... Now, the way that Yone damage works is he doesn't do true damage. It's just that his E is a damage amplifier, and it does it in true damage, so resistances aren't applied twice to his damage, basically. No, I've done that a lot less recently, Mecha. I've done that a lot less. Every so often I do, but when it comes around to stuff like Magi's, for sure. It's that particularly with Cab, because he was a one-trick of that champion, then it becomes more relevant, right? It is his best champion, so. And he had a really good game on it the other day. Very good game on it the other day. Anyway, enough of that. Anyone's Legend, down 1,000 gold, 5 kills to 1. First tower would give... Beats of strength to FPX. Not that they're close to getting that right now. You don't realize how low an 85% chance to hit is until you play XCOM. Have you ever tried playing Hurricane movesets in Pokemon? Or like high jump kick? 70% chance to hit is scary. Yeah, I've played Pokemon. 90% feels bad in that game. I'm like, oh, wow, my Fire Blast. Frickin' missed. Yeah. Oh, God. I only use Hurricane on rain teams. So I played a lot of Pokerogue, and Mega Pidgeot, is really, really good with Hurricane in that mode. Because you actually get enough special attack to make it work. The problem with flying type moves is that you just don't get a good physical flying move, which doesn't have huge detriments. Brave Bird is good, but it doesn't last you through long fights if you want to deal on Pokerogue or something like that. Jump force from Milky Way. You have jumped into a Trundle. Good damage from the Culling. Jeez, trying to fight over the Herald. Come back from Hope. Come back over. This is the thing. This choke point here, the more I see games of League of Legends, this choke point here is the most important part in top river. If you can get through that choke point, you're safe. This is why mid-pro is important. If you ever want an example of it, walking through mid lane is so much more safe than walking through that choke point from the Raptor pit. Now FPX get themselves a little bit of terrain. How do I approach this? Sheer, potentially looking for an equalizer. Ornalt coming through. Where's the equalizer? Braum Shield's using. That's not a great Ornalt. I mean, Jway's low HP. That does help. Milky Way. Ulted by Tarzan. Triple knockup from Dre, but is it enough? The equalizer's okay, but is it going to be enough? Care gets an ult into the backline. Jachi untouched, flashes over the Emperor's Divide. And we'll get into the play, making a net positive. Hope trying to DPS, and will be able to get the kill back. He's able to jump into the enemy jungle, but he will die for the attempt. 3 for 1. Jachi does go down, but the missed Ornn ultimate. A bad mistake from Flandre. A bad talent team fight from Anyone's Legend overall. They avoid the worst possible scenario of letting the Nymaera run over them. But they don't deal with it particularly well either. Herald is taken in the middle of that play by FPX. Milky Way picked that one up as well. Oh, did I not change the... Oh, sorry. I didn't change the thing. My bad. I didn't change the thing. Oopsies. Sorry. I had the wrong title on Twitch. My bad. My bad. So, double knockup came through from Dre. Into the equalizer. Exhaust onto Shanks, puts him out of position. And then Care gets the follow-up CC. No flash to survive that one. Good immediate burst damage. Good immediate flat slap back as well to not get pinned in place by the Braum passive and get killed. And while Help does manage to get Nymaera, I mean, the flash forward from Jachi is insane. Really well played. AL stress to MSI? What does that mean? I'm sure they're stressed since MSI. To a certain extent. Well, their international break wasn't bad. Yeah, they've had some good international results. They've just not recovered at all since coming back internationally. Turret will go down and bot side. FPX will get themselves feats of strength. And that'll be the boots for them. Top side, AL a little slower on that. They had the 3 grubs, still can win that because the Herald had gone down bot side and helped them take it down. Shanks behind a little bit of gold. Wow, pushing towards the inner turret as well. Rumble has equalizer, you can't push into that. Ornn does not want to use the ult to wave clear this. Both of them technically could have done, choosing not to. Flandre going to hold on to the ultimate for, I suppose, a potential dragon fight. I don't think anyone's Legend really want to fight this either, though, do they? They've just given up all bot side control. Vision control everywhere. I mean, maybe they can do. Care stacks up the Q on red buff, will hop over the wall. And that's just going to be dead. Anyone's Legend, I mean, couldn't Flandre have just ulted the bot wave then? You're not going to fight around that dragon? Figured that would be the case. Use the Ornn ult to wave clear it, stop giving as much gold over towards the Yone. Ended up being a 2 for 1 tower trade, even though you had the grubs. Surely should have been able to wave clear that. 2 item spike for Jachi, who's got the Hurricane now. And now the Hurricane with the Q proc goes insane. If there are multiple targets sitting next to each other, the Q bounces, the DPS is insane. This goes way through the roof. Cares about to get himself a shield bow as well. Which means he can dive in a little bit more boldly. Which is important. Sometimes you need to do that to get on top of the, particularly the Azir. If the Azir's used their mobility, that's when the Yone really wants to strike. 2 items for Hope's not a bad spot, but again, just 1.5k behind. A lot of gold. Shanks has 2 items, the Rylai's. The Rylai's has been more popular on mages because it just gives better stats than Liandry's now. You don't get the percent HP burn of Liandry's and the percent damage up, but the ton of HP from the giant spell component makes it pretty good build path. And the slow effect is decent as well. You know, Azir applies that AoE, applies it consistently. Good from him. Ghost prop from Milky Way has that spellbook. They have double spellbook, by the way. You get some weird shenanigans there. You know, by the way, technically FPX could run 4 teleports at once. How funny would that be? It's like having a Pantheon Talia without having a Pantheon Talia. By the way, we're here. Quantum Entanglement. Do you remember when people would quadruple teleport down to bot lane at like level 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes in? Why we never saw Caitlyn anymore in like season 6, 7. Everyone would just immediately teleport bot lane. That was a time.
It is bullying.
It was bullying, and it was really effective for that level of time. That's the thing, like, basically you couldn't play for 2v2 anymore. You had to play bot laners that just didn't die when people ran into their lane. Which is why Ezreal was very popular at the time, you backwards. But you couldn't play stuff like Caitlyn, because Caitlyn was about hard pushing up. Someone drop one wall behind them and it'd go to shit. Anyway, it's Intercon time. Taking up the objective. Teleport in. Yone's coming in there. Did he stack up his Q? No. Care doesn't have a way over the wall right now. Yeah. Maybe stack your Q before teleporting. Might have run out, I suppose. Atakan left alone. The Care loses his teleport. Not a great teleport angle. I would have just teleported to your team. questions. Anyone's Legend have 3 grubs. If they do get a bit of time to hit this tower, I mean, hang on a second. They just get to save the full tower. FPX, come on. You're in such a big lead. You shouldn't be falling for stuff like this. Cat, bad teleport, loses the ult, opens up the triple grubs, carries to take down the mid lane out of turret, and AL walk away with a tower trade from behind the game. That's a pretty simple mistake for FPX to make. If not, you got to do better than that in those situations. I know you want to look for that classic teamfight flank on the One, but at least get one with the stack Q, I guess. What match is this, first or second? This is the second match, Riley. This is the second match. We had our first one, which went to 3 games. At the start of the day, Ultra Prime versus LNG. Ultra Prime walked away with that. The second win of Root Nirvana. 22-1 in Flowers. How? FPX are not that they're allergic. They've not taken their antihistamine. No, it's not spring anymore, but allergies are not just for Christmas. They're for life. They're rarely even for Christmas either, unless you have a really bad Brussels sprouts experience, or I don't know. Can you get allergic to Santa? Things that we may never know. Atakan, perhaps angle that again. Anyone's Legend realized if they're at the Atakan first, FPX have to commit teleport to something like that. I think they just want the teleport out of Rumble if they can. Bloody hell, that's going down quick. Jesus, that's a quick Atakan coming down. Can they get in there? Milky Way. He has his ultimate to throw in. It's going low. There are 4 smites on the table right now. That means it is very hard to secure objectives. 2 from Spellbook, 2 regular ones. Who is going to get it? There's 3. And it goes to the AD carry without the smites. You have 4 fucking smites. One of them should get it. FPX end up getting the objective. No one has died. But FPX will get the Atakan and will start fighting around the choke point. Anyone's Legend don't get the Atakan and they don't get the fight either. Double to the One as another falls. It's going to be all 5 down. As Anyone's Legend lose the fight and the objective. Can't believe it.
What the fuck did I just watch?
There are 4 smites and none of them get it. What? 4 smites, 2 from Spellbook, and none of them end up claiming it. FPX end up getting the Atakan, a clean 5 for none fight. Dragon is spawning. And Anyone's Legend, what has happened to this team since they came back regionally? What? Look at this. Look at that one over the screen. There are 2 junglers with smites. You are paid to secure objectives. 1, 2, 3. And it's the Nymaera that get it. 3 smites come in. None of them are on target. And it's the frickin' AD carry that secures the objective.
I am taking a day off, Alex, and I'm still coming on through here to yell my displeasure.
I can't believe it. And then the worst thing is Anyone's Legend still think, well, we lost the bloody Atakan. We better go fight something afterwards. And they completely lose the fight.
I'm in great pain.
What is happening?
I'm leaving again. Goodbye.
Sam, is there any chance you can clip that?
Yeah, I'll go get that one.
I can't believe it.
That was so fucking bad.
Okay. I'm gonna move forwards, because let's be honest, there's no way I can rationalize that. So, FPX are now on Mounted Soul Point. They have Atakan, which is even up the petals, which was so far in Anyone's Legend's favor. They are also 7 going on 8,000 gold ahead. They have a 3-item Nymaera, who's not really been threatened for the grand majority of this game. Care is almost at an Infinity Edge. This is peak League of Legends. I don't know how to say it, folks. This is peak League of Legends. Is it the best of all time? Probably not. However, this is what I sit my ass down in my chair in front of the PC for every goddamn day. I do it for reasons like this. Ornn is giving some items over to Anyone's Legend. Flicker Blades, I think, is actually the wrong item for Hope there. I really think she upgraded the Essence Reef. It's better stats to give you. Trundle into Sejuani, maybe that'll help knock up. The Braum is not that tanky. Shanks maybe gets onto the carry, and they can get onto the Nymaera. It's still doing damage, though. Jachi takes a while to die, and Shanks has traded 1 for 1. I don't think that's good enough at this point in the game. Another carry goes down, another player, rather. The Trundle, the jungler, goes down, and FPX will win the fight 2-1. Shanks commits the flash, and the ult does get the Nymaera, but it's not enough to trade 1 for 1 there. The Azir must stay alive. It feels like an impossible scenario now, where Anyone's Legend must somehow stop the Nymaera from doing damage, whilst also keeping their carries alive. And the carries need to commit to killing that Nymaera too. It's a problem. It's a problem. Anyone's Legend. Add even more gold now. Why not? Sure, cool. That'll make it easier. 8,000 gold. Go into that replay. So Jachi's spotted coming off at midway. If they have a ward in there, Shanks is off of vision, and it's a good slide into the backline. Gets hit by the Brawl ult. Jack, she can't dash away from it. Procs it ult, forces the flash out. The Ornn ult's right on top of it too. Cares right behind him though. Shanks gets nailed by a Sejuani ultimate. Goes down very quickly. And sadly, once the Azir's down, it's very hard to do significant damage from Anyone's Legend. The Azir is 0 and 4. Yes, I know, but it's a 2-item Azir. You need them. Actually, with this point in the game, if you're that far behind, you need everyone to be doing their part. Very, very hard. That was their only chance to win on the blue side. There's too much for them. Ooh, that's a fair point. Yeah, if FPX win on red side, then Anyone's Legend go to red side. And one of the big complaints about Anyone's Legend has been their red side drafting has been a little poor. Baron nerf started. Is this game still throwable? It was pretty hard, actually. Jachi doesn't have flash. But that is a dead Baron. Tarzan doesn't have flash and won't be able to get close to the pitch. Wait, pops that ultimate. Very hard to do much about that. Care doesn't pull the ultimate just yet because he doesn't have it, actually. He doesn't need it. Kills Tarzan. Sheer starts to put on the flame spitter. Sejuani ult goes forwards in Anyone's Legend. I don't think they've got much of a disengage left in them. Shanks is trying to do damage. Don't think it's going to be enough. Jachi will dash out of a little bit more, and FPX will clean up another fantastic fight on the backs of such a big gold lead. Sheer topping the damage shot from this one. I think Milky Way's ultimates have been sublime. That being said, hard for me to pick an MVP from this one. I think that Nymaera has been very impactful. I think the Yoni's been very impactful. Hard to tell who's really had the most value, but FPX as a team pull out a game one, which has been very, very important for them. FPX are not a team which has had much success in this split. 1 and 5, looking for only their second series victory. This would be a step towards it. Towers getting focused down. 10 seconds on the carries. I think the towers might be dead before they are alive, though, and that is a very dead Braum. Add one more onto the pile of dead. The carrion crows eating well today. As the Nexus falls, 21 kills to 3. Our reigning LPL champions don't... As we head into our second game of our second series. W start. Hopes and top river sheer. What I like here is Tarzan going to start with the wall stun. Could potentially flash for the angle. Sheer. You okay there, buddy? Oh, gets the passive heal. That should see him to safety. Flashes out just in case. We'll teleport back in. Is anything happening on the other side of the map? FPX not putting wards down in the enemy jungle. They do get one on Krugs. That's kind of important. I don't think Sheer expected Hope to be there. In fairness, you don't expect an AD carry to be there at level 1. Will recall. Sheer not having flash, I mean, it doesn't change his laning phase that much. Those are not the best. I'm not gonna lie, Aatrox in early game against this top jungle, I don't think losing flash is that big a deal. They don't have that much damage to kill you. It's not like you're going to early skirmishes as much either, right? Like, of the people who can lose flash from FPX, that's the least valuable one, I think. Not to say it's not valuable, but you get what I mean. You get what I mean. Being a Panda fan is pain again. It's not been a great start to summer, has it? It's been a tough old time. Anyone's Legend, well, I think they're better than being relegated to, awesome logo again. Still not the brightest of moments for them. Ooh, crash down cancelled out. Dre gets a good value there. Of course, that's one of the bigger parts of the Nautilus Rail combat. Level 2, is their Straddling Strike going to come through? Yes. But, no extra thing is Hope got... so Hope didn't throw the Q immediately afterwards, so I assume that he's gone for Spell Shield second instead. Yeah, there you go. Ooh, almost fantastic there from Dre. Instead, actually lines them both up for a Shattering Strike. They burn the Spell Shield. Probably, of course, the Frost Bomb. A large amount of the damage early, so blocking that does give you... And the heal, which you now get off Spell Shield. People forget that Siv's Spell Shield used to just give mana, now it gives heal, actually not mana. Which helps you with some of those turnarounds, helps you with some laning phases. Sheer getting shoved in. He's losing pretty handily on the early wave. In Sauron's early wave clear, his level 3 is actually very good, but Sheer's just missed a ton of farm. What the hell happened there? Maybe Flandre just using the fact that he has that flash compared to Sheer not having it. Did he start the lane on low HP? Maybe he did. Maybe Sheer... I don't actually see if Sheer managed to get back to base time. I assumed he had done. Not a great hook there from Drake. And, oh, and now he hasn't got it to cancel out this... Yeah, this 2v2 is going very poorly for Jachi Dwayne. They're getting outplayed. All the spell shields are landing. Jachi's getting a bunch of HP away from him. That is not great for FPX's bot lane, considering how well they were doing last game. Taz is now on bot side. He is full build Poppy. He is level 3, well, level 4, but he's beyond level 3 with the red buff. That is full build Poppy. Poppy needs nothing else in life. She shall now become Death, Destroyer of Worlds. He's now Scry's Gleam to Scott through a bot side. Milky Way, was he spotted there? I don't know if he was. Just out of vision. Can they get there in time? Jachi has Flash, has Cleanse, uses that Cleanse first, and here comes Milky Way. He's read this very well. There's a Flash on Kyle, might have to use it. Wall stun coming through from Tarzan. We'll get onto Jachi first. Kyle will die, and now Tarzan is left behind enemy lines. Dre's over the wall. Who's going to come over to get this? Remember, he has no Flash. Cat actually needs to be a little careful here. If he gets a Q over, that could be a bit of a problem. We'll get that last bit in, and it'll be a kill to Cat. So, overplayed. The bot lane was winning. They do get something onto Jachi. He does get double assists. Care gets a kill. Milky Way gets a kill. And Tarzan, the general of anyone's legend, leading his troops to death. What happened to AL? We're still trying to figure that out. We're still trying to figure that out. We have no idea. Top line is a bit of a wave freeze. Flandra's doing well there. Milky Way comes for a fantastic counter gank. Cleanse. Flash away. Hook under tower. And Tarzan, yes, gets a good kill onto Jachi, but he wastes the flash to do it. I say waste, like he uses the flash to do it. Kill to Milky Way, that is important. Getting this Wukong ahead is a problem. And then Care gets the combo over the wall. Tarzan's not in range. If he had got in range for E, perhaps that would change. I guess it's not on cooldown. It's only level 4 across the first rank of it. No cooldown reduction either. Tarzan gets a kill. Milky Way gets a kill. Even-ish in farm, but a little bit worried here for anyone's legend after that. I thought they were in a very winning position. Now you have to question that a little. Look in. Get damage onto Kyle. Crashes down, gets the shield. Actually stacking the Conqueror. Cull for Hope. I'd like to know from you guys in chat, actually. Anyone here and anyone's Legends fan? What do you make of your team so far? Not a leading question. I actually want to know what you think about the team and what's been going wrong for them. Yeah, farming through the Cowstorm. Of course, has the red buff, so if he's out of combat, he'll heal quite well. The sad, bad, damn. Harsh comments. Actually gets the boss bomb into the shield, so not doing that much value there. Lane is stabilized. That's the most important. It's stabilized. This team looks so bad, so burned out. Lessen the scrim times, perhaps? I did talk a lot about that. Random aside. Anyone's Legend is still on blue side, so they still have a chance. Well, they lost on blue side last game. Just saying. A little bit of XP down on Shanks, who also managed to get that shit. He's in trouble now. What's that ult? Uses that passive to heal. Actually turns it around quite well, but does blow the ult, which is, you know, not a small cooldown to give over. Aatrox's ult is a ton of his healing damage. Hook lands. Conqueror stacked up from Jachi. Heal available from Dway. Actually, it's not just there yet. Flashes over the wall, tries to buy time. Hope trying to get short to the AD carries down. It's 1-for-1, but I think Dway might be in trouble still. Either way, has heal, can hook to a wall, will get there. Get us to slow on the other side, flash forward. Dway has heal now, he should be fine. In fact, baits out the barrier as well. Hook in, and Dway gets a solo kill on the AD carry. Hope baited by the heal cooldown, perhaps thought it wasn't coming up just then. 2-for-1 in the bot side. Kill to Corki, kill to Sivir, but one more to Dway at the end. I mean, the only way that's possible is Hope just does not realize that the heal's coming off a cooldown. The hook was into the wall, it went on half cooldown, so the first one to escape, the second one to hook him back under turret. What was Hope doing that? Mistimed the summoners. I Hope just must have mistimed it. So, the all-in initially is pretty good from Hope and Kyle, because while, yes, a lot of damage goes onto the Rel, around this point, Hope just gets to damage the AD carry. You know, Hope makes the right choice. Spell shields up something, gets a bit of a heal through there. gets the lethal tempo active, and while FPX are focusing on Kyle, Hope is focusing down on Jachi, and the AD carry goes down. That's fine. Slow, hook goes on half cooldown because it's into the wall. Flicks the frickin' emote at them, heals, and hooks him back under turret. Well, not quite under turret. Uses the barrier, but he had no spell shield from earlier in the trade. Oh, my dude. You cannot go under turret like that. Just take the 1-for-1 and go out. Grub's taken by FPX 2-1. The first one, I believe, was taken by Tarzan. Well, I guess it would have to be taken by Tarzan there. FPX, they're not doing badly now. No, they're even in gold between the AD carries. Yes, the Cull will pop in for Hope, and that would be powerful for them. Sheer, I thought he would fall behind in top lane, but it's not been too bad, actually, all things said and done. Looks like Care is going towards a Leandry / Riftmaker build. The Ruby Crystal and inventory. It's fairly even, all things said and done. Slight gold leads. Of course, there's a little bit of a lead for Dway, which support gold leads don't matter that much. But when you have a support that gets their first item first, that actually does make a difference. If you get them to Empowered Boots, or I say Empowered, if you get them to Tier 2 Boots, you get them to Locket, Redemption, whatever your support item is. In this case, it's the Nautilus. It's very likely to be something like the Locket, right? That's a big power spike. It's a big power spike. Yeah, imagine anyone's legend going like 5 games against Gen G. Do whatever the hell this is. They'll put in towards the bot side. That is Victor coming back into play. Shanks has the full Rod of Ages. Milky Way loses blue buff. Can't get that away in time. Tarzan will use the smites. Milky Way not able to contest for that. Nice. Big one from Jachi. Gatling gun goes onto Hope. Flandre and Sheer both proxying each other. That's sure something. Nice little auto reset with that. Tarzan's coming topside. Has first item. Sheer doesn't. Sheer could be in a bit of trouble here. Spotted. We'll have the passive coming back up again now. Sarn coming over? Yes. Milky Way's here. Pops the ult. Tarzan slows him down. Flandre, yeah, they'll see him now. Sheer does have flash. There's an ult from Tarzan. He has a flash as well. I think Sheer dies here. I think Tarzan might just get away from him. Miss with the Q and the ult. I say a miss. It's flashed away from Milky Way. Escape Flandre as well. So Tarzan getting flash and ult out of Sheer after the proxy. It's dangerous to proxy. You can't just do that for free. What a weird game. Yeah, seconded. Jumping forward for the Valkyrie. Spell Shield still there, but it misses. Spell Shield doesn't get anything. Big one misses. Maybe Jachi can get the kill afterwards. The barrier is not enough, and Jachi will solo kill Hope in the bot lane. The Spell Shield not landing is such a big turnaround. Jachi, can he get himself an execute in time? I don't think so. And if possible, he wants to give the kill to Kyle instead. Valkyrie's over the wave, and he'll get an execute. He'll clear out all but one of the minions and get an execute after the solo kill. Oh, that is tragic for AL's AD carry and for support. Neither of them getting kill participation, and Kyle will hold the wave at least for Victor, but Jachi using the early power of the Corki to great avail there. Gets himself some extra gold. Of course, the Cull on the other side from Hope will bring him close towards him, even. I don't know how that was an execute. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but it was. But it was. Dre being 500 gold ahead, completes Locket on this recall. So what happens here? Starts up the Conqueror, gets the Triforce Auto. Valkyrie starts to get some damage down, and Hope just doesn't get the spell shield in. Dodges a big one. Barrier's not enough. Too much damage. Jachi gets the kill. Kyle could have ignited. Yeah, I don't think he needed. I think he needed to. I think Kyle thought it wouldn't be an execute, but it was. Dragon now available. Milky Way's on it. Hook onto Kyle. Kyle has flash and he has Magnet Storm. It's a lot of damage onto the Rel though, and perhaps the engaged support now won't be able to play around this. You cannot play around low HP engaged support. It's very hard to. Dway needs to be a bit careful here. He's smoked by Tarzan, who procs that phase rush. He doesn't have smite though now. Milky Way, hang on a second, does he go onto Shanks? Just a little bit down there, gets out of the Chaos Storm. And they go straight into the Rel. The Rel is high enough HP to find that engage. Care gets something onto Tarzan. Jesus Christ, the bunny damage. Cyclone comes through. He doesn't want to stick around. He might die as the shotgun misses from Care. Oh, Care. So close, but not to be. 2 kills over to anyone's legend as Care misses the shotgun. And anyone's legend will clean up 2. 2 for 1, all things said and done. And Kyle did manage to get enough HP back to go for that play. Sheer will get some plates in top side. It's not like it's out without macro, but the game is back to even now. Shanks gets a plate in bot side. A lot happened in that fight on both sides of it. So, Jway, it could be a problem. Jumped on to. Has flash, has here. Realistically, he should be fine here. He has a Tides Ross coming up now anyway. Staying towards that top side. So what happens here? Milky Way goes towards Shanks first. Doesn't use the Cyclone. Fires out the Gravity Field and the Cyclone. And then, yeah, Jway and Jachi, they... I mean, Jway has flash. Doesn't end up getting to use it, sadly, for him. Doesn't cancel out the combo either. And Cap misses the shot. Does it change that much? I suppose the kill would give him another W charge. There's a W cooldown, perhaps that would make a difference. Even in gold now. No, Tarzan, not a bad fight on the Poppy, I suppose. Kyle showing his worth. Kyle, it is, of course. I think even when in AL slumps, I think Kyle's still been playing well. He's the guy which I have less problems with. Care missing all of his skills again. That is not very good. Care, come on, man. This is not the game to slump. Against anyone's legend, the title holders of LPL currently, you don't get many stuff like this, right? I hope they don't blame Hope for this game. I mean, the 1v1 on bot side, I don't think Hope's been playing fantastically this game. I think it was fine. The 2v2 earlier was okay until obviously he gets put back in by Jway. Teleport in. That's going to be from the Scion. Scion has flash and all. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. We'll clear out the water. You just get back behind that choke point. I don't know. That choke point is so nasty to fight against. Of course, Herald is alive. FPX don't want to give that up if they can, because that's likely mid lane turret falling afterwards. Herald started. FPX not with great position here. Care can teleport back in. Has level 11. Where can he teleport to? Is there a ward on top river? They're pinging there. Wukong going to be a little late to the fight. Teleporting in now. Look, I mean, but... Oh, no. Don't give him the double Q. Here comes in. Kyle comes in afterwards. Jachi not really paying respect to that bush. I mean, Milky Way goes in. This is a really good flank, and this carries are going to go down. That's Victor and Sivir down, despite the fact that Corki's zeroed out. There's another Cyclone charge. We'll get onto the Scion, who doesn't have flash. The flank from Kev, caused by Kev's ultimate from Sheer and Milky Way, was absurdly good, and FPX find the AoE fight 2 for 1. Can they push into mid lane? Herald was taken by anyone's legend. They won't have that objective to go back towards. There is potentially a demolish on the tower. They'll get it there. Not enough wave clear. But the flank from the Aatrox and the Wukong getting to the backline was huge. Jachi, not great at this point, right? I mean, it's a good Q from the Sun. It gets out of vision. It's very good from Flandre, actually. It's not fair to put that onto Jachi. The CC combo is insane, but then just look at the Nautilus ult. What do you spell shield here? Hope basically can't spell shield everything because everything's overlapped. You want to spell shield the Nautilus ult. Both carries get blasted as they go a little bit too close to the choke point. Can't control it. FPX managed to get that flank and get onto both of them. And very even in gold. Don't have feats of strength just yet. First tower would be that. Or the next objective for FPX would be another 2 for anyone's legend. A minute till Dragon comes up. Would be the second of the game for FPX. First for anyone's legend. Flandre reminding us why he's a very, very good tank top lane player. Cow 4-1 now. Now, he didn't play fantastically well around the last Dragon fights. Or I guess the exit from the Dragon fight. The Dragon already gone down at that point. But he's now 4-1. We're likely to be going towards Riftmaker second. Can also go towards Bloodletters, but not really valuable with so little magic damage on your team. Leandri's Riftmaker is a great way to deal with the Scion later on. It means I actually maybe can play front to back in a way that you couldn't without that build. Not that it's easy to play front to back versus anyone's like just comp, but with the Fed Aurora, many things are possible. Some deemed unnatural. Have I ever told you about Dark Aurora the Wise? Have I ever told you about Darth Faker the Rise? I'm funny. Herald 7 in mid lane. Mid lane turrets still standing on both sides. Now, if this is first turret, again, it's feats of strength. Can they clear in time? Tarzan might be angling for a wall stun if people don't position correctly. Goes down. Dragon is alive. Cat, can you get the shotgun? A little bit of damage. A little bit of damage there, you see. Decent. And Sheer will get the first turret on the top side. So they'll end up getting the feats of strength. They might give up the Dragon for it. I think FPX are happy to trade Dragon and go towards both outer turrets if they can. The Flounder is, you know, really annoying to deal with. Jachi's not exactly killing the tanks right now. Shanks on the Dragon, as is Tarzan. Kyle threatening Magnet Storm over the wall. Oh, dear Milky Way. Oh, dear Milky Way. Caught out. Jway's flashed already. I don't know if the hook's going to be enough to save him. Jachi will get out to safety, and no, it's not safe enough for Jway. He'll go down. FPX, not well enough played around that Dragon. 2 caught on the exit. Anyone's Legend will get the Dragon, and they'll get 2 kills. Yes, FPX get the feats of strength through that first turret on the top side, but they are losing out in this play. They'll lose the mid lane outer turret and important objectives. FPX just don't know how to approach this team effectively enough. Shanks, if he approaches the wave, there's an angle here. Does have flash. If they can blow that flash, it's pretty big. Q shield just wears off now. Comes out. Ah, that's a big old buddy burst. And they get onto him in time. Ultimate used from Sheer and from Care. But Shanks will use a flash, and that is a big win. So, Milky Way, jumps over. Wow. Dash stopped, slammed into the wall, instant death. That is a great punish from Tarzan. It's a great punish from Tarzan. So 1,000 gold lead to anyone's Legend. I mean, it's not the end of the world in terms of that. However, you know, 1,000 gold lead to a Sivir. That is rough. Care doesn't have a second item just yet. Gotta be close to it. That's Atacon doing that whole thing where he screeches at you. I'm sure he means well.
We've been trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty.
Sheer has flash. Doesn't have ult, so this could be a dive. Yeah, this is one of those problems with the Aatrox saying wall stunned, it'll be into a Q. Not actually put there in time. That's actually could cause a couple of issues. Teleport coming in from Jway. Had that in the spellbook, and now, yeah, he's gonna die instead. Sheer had actually made it out alive. Aurora pushing on top side, has 2 grubs. There's an AP scaling of mages on turrets does make this, I mean, it's an inner turret from an outer turret. If the kill wasn't there, this would be a good trade. And while it's happening, mid lane turret's happening as well. There is a teleport from Care if they want to contest Atacon. I'd imagine they have to give this up now, though. AL will take that on spawn. And it goes down. However, 2 turrets. It's not bad. And Anyone's Legend, they weren't ahead in Flowers this time. It's 21 to 22. Yes, Anyone's Legend get the extra bonus from Flowers, so it's an extra 25. But FPX open up the map. They take mid lane outer, top lane inner. Sheer survives at least. I don't think that's actually that bad for FPX. Jachi has flash. Valkyrie. That's a problem. Yeah, yeah, don't cleanse that, buddy. Don't cleanse that. Very dead. Double ultimates put in. Kyle comes to the play as well. Just shouldn't be there, mate. Just shouldn't be there. Uses that cleanse. That could be important later. Pushing towards the top lane turret. Now Anyone's Legend with Jachi dying and not being around for wave clear duty. Very easy to take this one. They'll even up the turret trade all in all. Bring things again back to around about 1,000 gold lead or so. Maybe a little over that. Tarzan? No. A decent amount of HP. Thunder Sky makes you quite tanky when you can hit multiple people. Pushing towards the inner turret now. Only the 1 grub. Can they wave clear through? How quick is this going to go down? Another wave's coming in. Might be inner turret for inner turret trade. Can anyone respond on the other side? Top lane inner turret goes down. Care. Going to be on the bot side. Can clear through this wave very, very quickly. Can they actually take this entire... I don't know. Doing it before everyone gets back from base. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, he won't even get to hit it. So it's inner turret for nothing. 2 turrets pushed in the top side. FPX trying not to commit to fighting Anyone's Legend while they're pushing a lane. They want a cross map. And credit to FPX, and the cross maps haven't been that bad. Good to see you, Oisumi, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Goldley's not out of reach. Minute till Dragon. Bloodletters was actually the build from Care. He's now got the building of Riftmaker. Care's almost... I mean, when you hit those 3 items, Aurora really extended fight damage is very, very strong. That actually, just your regular combo is really nice. For those of you that don't know, Aurora, if you hit the QE, you can kind of just sit there and be like, well, I'll wait until my Riftmaker, Bloodletters in this case, and then the Leandri stack up, and then I'll pull the Q back. So right this? I mean... You should probably do that. Wanted to make sure that... I guess didn't want Flandre to press the W key, but... Yeah. Anyways, decent damage. Look, Flandre's actually good amount of damage onto him there. Sheer pushing up topside. I mean, there's no inner turret. FPX could theoretically trade this and say, we'll just take inhibitor turret. You could say that. If FPX don't want to fight for the 5v5, it's risky because, you know, Victor Sivir scaling into the game. Kind of scary. Sion too. But if you take a good enough macro trade, perhaps it's worth it. Yeah, pushing up towards the inhibitor turret. Dragon spawn now. AL will go towards that dragon. They're not going to get contested on this. And yeah, FPX just say, all right, we'll trade. If we can. Do they want to look for a fight as well? Sheer could teleport in, but now you've given up so much control on bot side. So they don't trade anything. Now that's a problem. Now, if you're going to trade, make it worthwhile. They don't take the inhibitor turret. There'll be a wave lost. So I suppose the gold is still a little bit in favor of FPX as they farm slightly more waves. Oh, you missed the cannon there with the ult. Good job there, buddy. Items completed by FPX. Do FPX think they can scale into the game? I mean, it's a good lead on Aatrox individually. He's managed to farm up an extra wave or so. He's a full level up over Flandre. Care is down, you know, about a level in regular CS, and then with the, yeah, about half a level down in terms of regular XP. And then the Rod of Ages gives the extra level over to Shanks, who now has the level 3 Chaos Storm. FPX, if they won one of those, yeah, I mean, they did win that one dragon fight earlier. I'm worried that they're trying to buy time for big items, and it won't matter because they're outscaled. FPX, if they get a good enough flank, that won't matter. I think the only target is Hope, Victor 2 tanky. With this team, I actually don't think he is tanky enough. Now, Aurora blows through tanks well with this build. He'll have, you know, the Riftmaker as well. He's going to have, you know, the triple mask build effectively. Aatrox is fantastic against players like champions like Victor and Sivir. Even if they do build HP, that's kind of Aatrox's comfort zone. A little bit worried about what Cork he's going to bring to this game. Bloodlether is now completed for Shanks. We'll be able to play through. Again, he'll be really strong in terms of his damage. He will be. And the Riftmaker is completed for Care, so 3 items for both mid laners. I wonder if Care should upgrade his boots, actually. The upgraded boots for the percent pen and a bit more flat pen do make a big difference. They're some of the better boots to buy in terms of the efficiency and gold. What Corky brings to the game is ruining the watchability of replays. Yeah, whenever Corky's in a replay, the Gatling gun blows your ears off. You are, in fact, not wrong about that. It's a Bramble Vest on Flandre. Now, the problem with stuff like Bramble Vest into Aatrox is that actually, Aatrox, what he can do is he can just keep slamming Q at you and not auto-attack until he actually thinks he's won the trade without the healing, you know? Milky Way, bonk the blue buff. I don't think you really want to walk up and threaten getting wall stunned. Ah, it's missed there. The geometry not working in Tarzan's favor. Milky Way, my dude, that's very dangerous. Very dangerous indeed. Gold's within 1,000 at this timestamp. We've talked about that before. It's not that much. I mean, what's 1,000 gold in a 50,000 gold game? Well, 10% is... Well, 1% is 500. So that's about a 2% gold lead. In terms of actual gold, right? Makes sense. So 1,000 gold is 2% stats, which is... I mean, it matters because of gold completion and not all stats are even and stuff. Ghost pop by Kyle. She actually does have Valkyrie still. Has Lord Dominance regards, so he is actually killing the front line a lot better. Now, the problem is he might just die to ricochets while he's trying to do so. Jachi's not had a clean fight this game, actually. He's really struggled on that front. 1,000 gold behind Hope. A lot of that gold is spent on boots. Because Jachi's not spent money on boots. He's got the magical footwear and he's not upgraded them. So I suppose a lot of that is in that. And Corky needs boots less nowadays. Used to be the case where Triforce, Last Whisper, and then boots were kind of... His Sork boots were crazy power spikes. So I think AL could win this game. Absolutely. I mean, they're slightly... They outscale. I think FPX... It's on FPX to make sure that Anyone's Legend don't win this game. Anyone's Legend, from this point, should win, really. They're ahead slightly in objectives. They have better scaling. Gold differences remained within 1,500 gold on both sides. A very tight envelope of gold leads for this length of game. Dragons up in a minute. FPX have been giving a lot of space on the map. Jachi building towards, presumably, Infinity Edge. I guess it could be a GA, could be Bloodthirster. I'd imagine it's still that Infinity Edge, though. Care did buy the Spellslinger's shoes, the upgrade to the Sorcerer's shoes. Gives him some 10, some flat pen as well. Okay, FPX. You know, FPX are actually pretty good at late game macro. You know, all things said and done, they're pretty good at it. Milky Way against Top Esports backdoored them last year. Amongst other things. I think JDG they also took a game off of as well, actually, like that. Minute now until Dragon. FPX, I mean, Woolston doesn't land onto Care again, actually. That's not that much damage on Tarzan. Hang on a second. Blocking that through. We'll have to ult, perhaps. Yeah, you probably should have flashed there, Care. Dies, and that's the game. I'm sorry, folks. That's the game. Care, you cannot afford to play like that. Caught out by Tarzan. Doesn't flash out of the W, doesn't ult, and now FPX are thrown under the bus. The Aurora goes down, and FPX, what was a difficult game, now I think becomes largely unwinnable. Tarzan running at them around the side. Dabban's play, movement speed, tries to get the wall stun, and he will get it as Jachi cleanses, and it won't matter jack all. Anyone's Legend will clean up 4 kills. As Anyone's Legend, use that Poppy, use Tarzan to find the picks, and Care out of position, caught out, and will lead to FPX. Losing the Baron, losing the Dragon, losing everything. That is pretty heartbreaking for FPX. They chose not to give a fight for so long. 5-10 minutes. They've not fought Anyone's Legend. They've side laned. They've played for inner turrets. They played for punishing inner turrets. Inhibitor turrets. Not able to do so. And then when they finally choose to fight around an objective, Care just very, very lax around his own safety. You have to flash when you're melee range of the Poppy. You can't dash out. What did you think was going to happen? And now you see the... You either got to ult, you got to flash. You cannot allow the Poppy to just chain CC you like that. If Care wanted to be off vision on a flank, you have to be aware of that Poppy. Poppy, I mean, fantastic play from Tarzan. Tarzan, by far the player of the game right now. He's been playing incredibly well on the Poppy in all the skirmishes we've seen so far. I think now with the gold lead opening up to 4,000 and items starting to come out thick and fast from the likes of the Victor and the Sivir. You know, Seek is on the Victor, the Bloodthirster on the Sivir. They have the luxury defensive items now, and I think FPX were already out-damaged, and they were already outscaled. Does coaching make a difference in League of Legends? Yeah, it does for Anyone's Legend. They got the best coach in the league in Tabe historically. We may well be going to 6 games today, folks. 3 in our first. Long ones in our first one, too. This one will be likely going to 3 here as well, with FPX throwing an okay spot in the game, and now into one which is very, very difficult. Sheer. Oh, hang on. Flash forward. Cyclone comes through. Aurora getting some damage down. Flashed into the wall by the wall stun. Sheer still on the flank, but there's no follow-up now. We'll flash over the wall. Some decent damage onto Kyle, but that's his support. It's not onto the carries. Shanks walking forwards again, and the Scion forcing a flash backwards. Chaos Storm onto the bunny will allow the inhibitor fall turret to fall. And Poppy just farming a Grump while they can. Teleport out from Rel, who has that from the Spellbook. Sheer trying to get away. Was spotted out. I think Tarzan's just trying to stop him from recalling. I'm actually not sure Sheer wins a 1v1 versus Tarzan, by the way. He's currently getting fought in the jungle. Yeah, I'm actually not sure Sheer wins this. Tarzan is really fed. Level 16 to level 17. Qs are missing. Qs keep hitting from Tarzan, and Tarzan, Sheer trying to teleport out, and will manage to do so. Care using combo on a tank jungler is a poor target selection regardless. Well, he has an anti-tank build, but yeah. You want to take... using your regular combo is fine. Using your ult, you really want that on the AoE clump, as it looks like the clean feed just stuttering one more time. As we shall see what happens in the next... Oh, come on, clean feed. Come on. You're doing very well this game. Come on. Come on. Where are you? If it comes through from this. There we go. There we go. It'll come back now. Media source. There we go. Good stuff. Back again. The clean feed occasionally stutters. If the signal isn't good from China's own production, then sometimes that will happen. It's been largely very good. Largely very good. But recently it's been a little bit stuttery. Pushing in towards the inhib turret. Shank's currently dealing with Sheer on the side in terms of the flank. A little bit of damage through onto Kyle. Care does have the combo available. Sheer's popped the ultimate. Hook misses. Sheer being warded off well by Shanks. Sivir ult to come back in. Redemption being used. That'll be some good HP to turn around. Care does manage to get the Scion, but I think the damage is still too much. The Sivir is untouched. The Victor is untouched. And Anyone's Legend will close out a death by 1,000 cuts game against FPX. Sheer couldn't really get value on the flank. It's going to get sold out by Tarzan again. Milky Way unable to get those clutch Cyclones. Anyone's Legend with a super minion left will close out the game and bring us to a third game, 6 games today. Going golden on the Nexus. 3 games in. Anyone's legend. Losing a game to... Thank you. I have coffee. I have gameplay. I have LPL. And I have you in chat. Let's say those gyos, and that'll be everything I need.
I'm here too.
Very true. The gyos are a little bit muted there, a little bit towards the end. FPX used to have a huge fan base, you know. Being LPL champions, world champions with DMB as well. It's a little strange because they beat IG to get to finals, and obviously they slaughtered G2 in the finals 3-0. That was traumatic for EU. Tarzan's? I do not think Milky Way wants much of that. Loses about a third of his HP. Kaz walking up. Has E-Star potentially. He misses there from Shanks this time. Ooh, hits it over the wall. Nice trade at level 1 there. We'll try and walk away from the Q. Dodges out on that Q. Nice from him. Yes, the clockwork wind-up's fine, but he has Door and Shield. He'll heal up a little bit more, and with the Q missing, Care wins that trade. He's happy with that. Has another E now. He can dash into the wave, use that passive to get some stuff down, and yeah. Wait, hang on, which one is that? Is that the Star Guardian one? I'm trying to think of the way that the... No, it's... Yeah, it is, the Star Guardian one. Yeah, the redeemed one. It's got the same, like, Star Guardian, kind of like star, 4-pointed star logos, which are kind of cool. You know, I have a fun fact, by the way, for those of you in chat, if you like astronomy. I know it's an important game, but a fun fact. You know, you can tell the difference between Hubble and the James Webb Space Telescope photos by the amount of stars, points there are on stars. Hubble has, I believe, 4-pointed stars, and James Webb has 6-pointed stars, the way that they reflect things around mirrors. It's a 6-point star on a astronomy photo. It's very likely to be James Webb's telescope, especially with it being so popular right now. Okay, another good trade in that mid lane. Shanks trading back well with the clockwork wind-up. Kyle, wow, walking well beyond the tower here. Jen and Rakan getting some good wave control. Actually not getting the best farm under turret this time, actually. He was very good on that earlier in the day. Not necessarily in the... Oh, no, it wasn't him. It was, sorry, it was another Jinx earlier in the day, actually. Push in mid lane. Not to be unexpected. Orianna definitely gets pushed in this matchup. It's whether... Ooh, using that passive. Should have been able to get both of them. I think if you auto-tap the other one. Your Silas passive executes minions below a certain amount of HP. It's worth knowing. So weird how we get into game 3s and it still feels like common meta comps. Yeah, well, that's because teams practice certain comps, right? Ooh, is Flodger going to be able to get the... Ooh, he is going to get up there to get the empowered W. Nice trade onto him. Trading. Counter-Strike, obviously quite a high cooldown at level 1. What is like almost like a 20-second cooldown level 1? Something like that. It's crazy high. Sheer building up the passive. Tarzan up here, though. I do not think Sheer wants any of this. He gets the can. He should probably back off now. Wave pushing back in. Yeah, he'll back all the way off. As cookies, if things get really spicy and you can see it in advance... Top Scuttle gonna go towards Tarzan. That is a bonus. Milky Way kills the Scuttle Crab ASAP. Will recall and want to get right back out onto the map. He's not gonna be here in topside in time to defend a dive if it does come through. Tarzan pops the vision plant and will be recalling. There is a ward in Tribrush. They would have known if it was coming around the corner. I think at this point, Sheer would have been able to flash ward hop away. Or maybe not ward hop. He doesn't have the ward, but he would have to flash the minions and potentially get away. Important stuff, that actually. Cull bought in for the Xayah, alongside a longsword, in it for the long run. Who do I think will win out of Team WE and BLG? I mean BLG, right? I think BLG are a much better team than WE on current form. WE have been struggling a fair bit recently, sadly for them, despite being a very good team in last split. Currently 1-5. They only beat FPX, who are the other bottom team here in the LPL, right? In the LPL group stand. Okay, about 6 CS behind. Yeah, the Orianna is a tough match. Orianna's a tough matchup for almost every champion in the game, honestly, in mid lane. Yay, cannon secured. Kara actually could have gotten... Got all of those minions, just using his skills on the wrong stuff. Down about 2 or 3 minions off of his own mistakes. Oh shit. Owie. Really needs to teleport back now. I think he can back off, teleport back in, and only lose like 2 minions, maybe 3. He does have a biscuit if he doesn't want to lose the minions. I think he should be safe. Maybe he's afraid that Tarzan was going to be up there. Teleporting topside. Flandre has level 6. Be able to, I guess Flandre would have been able to like, just press level 6 and kill him on the tower. I guess that would be a pretty easy kill. I hope BLG will win tomorrow. Do you think so? I mean, yes, they are by far a better team. Ooh, flash in. Handshake not getting the most things. Double knockout from Kyle. Allows Hope to trade back hard. A Q back too. Full shot and then the Q after. Dancing grenade. It's decent work down. Flash from Dway. Flash from Hope. Milky Way looking for combination play between him and Dway on the spot side. Yeah, they're on vision. They will sweep that up. Good. Level 6 hit from Shanks. Now, Ken needs to be careful about using his E now. Actually does get hit. He's down to about half HP. It's not that much damage. He does have... Hang on, he does have double pots. Shanks using it, I suppose, for wave clear. Grub's not spawning yet. Dragon being taken now. Tarzan is coming out onto the map. Has a stronger set of items than Milky Way right now because he had a later back. Tunneler and Longsword to Longsword and Ruby Crystal. If they do fight, Tarzan is stronger than Milky Way at this moment. Won't matter though. Milky Way needs to get a recall in ASAP. We'll play through this wave on bot side. Even-ish on gold. Good for them. Good for them. Because I think that, given how things were going in the early lane and that last trade, where it felt like they messed things up a little, when they got double knocked up and they couldn't get that flash handshake it was flashed away from. Why isn't my Pantheon clicking W on a mobile enemy mid? Because I think they're afraid that Tarzan counter ganks or Kyle is there in time and then they lose big time. They don't have enough information to make the play clean cut. There's a problem with pro teams sometimes. Sometimes they don't go for those big plays. Into mage matchups, Silas tends to go Qmax, helps you farm from range. Decent burst damage as well, which means you don't have to commit your complete body to the play. Against melee, sometimes you still max out that W though. It used to be times we even max E into certain matchups in top lane. Silas has been an everything maxer for a while. Oh, that Jin trap is actually going to be fairly successful there. Gets a CC down. A little bit of a slow. You expect Sheer to be down a little bit of CS against the Renekton. Jax struggles in the matchup early on, then climbs back later. It's actually one of the most historic matchups in League of Legends. If you go back to Season 3 and 4, Jax Renekton was one of the most famous matchups in the game. Back when Soaz and the Fnatic roster were making their way to fame. Players like Flame and Impact were mastering the matchup. It was Renekton trashes you early, and then you can't do anything against Jax late. So you get as much done as possible as the Renekton, and then you see what you can do afterwards. Rup started, not be FPX can't finish the first one. It might be 3 going over because of that. Now FPX have been pretty happy to just say, look, we are not fighting. There is a Sheen for Jax, so we'll be able to get some extra damage onto the tower from that. W also impacting towers nowadays. There's a huge change for him. Double plates taken by the Jax. Happy for that. Silas E flash W QE is full. Can't miss full burst. Yeah, I'm just afraid that if Tarzan comes in or Kyle comes in and they haven't spotted it, you know, flash Rakan E into W makes that play a losing play. If you get disrupted in your play at all, it falls off. Also, if Orianna positions in such a way that Pantheon's walking into mid lane and flash back, there's a chance that if the Orianna flashes back, your play falls apart, and then someone can respond in time. I know it's small things, right? Small things. So I'm not saying they shouldn't have done that. They should have. Sheer happier in the matchup now. 100 gold lead. FPX. Bad split for them. Of course, they were playing around IE's jungler. Milky Way coming in midway through this split. Alternator proccing onto Shanks. Right, phase rush being activated for Shanks too. Notice how Care, even in situations like that, doesn't really want to use the E. He doesn't want to use the E. He's also not putting any points into his W. He wants that E to be more burst damage, right? because it is burstier to use QE a lot of the time, and then just having the extra cooldown on your E gives you a bit more mobility. You're very unlikely to get your W onto the actual Orianna itself until later into the game, which is why I max it later, you know. Like right here, FPX are actually losing vision on both sides of mid. They don't have vision on either side of mid, so while you could say, well, let's jump in with like a Pantheon or whatever, you'd be worried about someone coming out of Fog of War. And as it happens, Tarzan is on Raptors. He'd be in position to respond there. I think they should have looked for some more mid-jungle 2v2 players. Pantheon Silas is a very strong 2v2. They get a lot of CC down very quickly. I just don't think it's easy to guarantee what Tarzan and Kyle are, and if there is a bit of inconsistency there, or inconsistency, what's the other thing? There's lacking information there. You can understand why they don't go for it as easily. Why am I not casting for LPL English? One, because they didn't ask, and two, because I prefer doing things on my own sense, because the proceeds from running such a broadcast like this are quite low, and I would rather not like have that split a million ways and not have anyone really get any compensation for it, you know what I mean? Plus also, I was doing this before them. No, they're not always NA based, Cosel. They do have people from across the world. Look, I like LPL English. We've worked with them before. However, like, yeah, there are good reasons why I'm not on that channel, right? Not like bad blood or anything like that. However, you know, we did do last finals together. We shared desk together. That was very cool. And yeah, there's some people I work with on the LPL official broadcast on there. Trouble's occasionally on there. Jamada's occasionally on there. Mazel as well, a player which I've caster I've cast 3 LPL finals with, by the way. But a lot of love for Lennon. What a guy. What a caster. And, you know, any kind of broadcast like this, I have a lot of respect for. Anyone that puts time into covering the LPL as it is right now makes a lot of difference. Co-streams kind of killed the LPL broadcast, amongst other things. And now no one is paid to cover the LPL. Yeah, Tibber's ult is on cooldown as well. Yeah, that's the thing. It costs a lot to run a broadcast, and now stuff like LPL English ourselves, we are not paid for this. And you know, for instance, I'm trying to think how much it would cost to hire a cast of like a full year in LPL. It'd be like tens of thousands, right? 30,000-40,000 pounds to like hire someone for give me 30,000. Dragon will go down to Anyone's Legend. I'll take that one. That's second Dragon of the game. First one to Anyone's Legend. Quite a quiet early game, which allows us to talk like this a little bit, right? But yeah, you know, and when you consider that, you know, LPL English has got a dozen plus people working for them, trying to compensate all those people fairly is very, very difficult. Running a broadcast takes a lot of money, and it's very, very sad that now the LPL doesn't have that to support this level of talent, because, you know, seeing people like the rise of Milky Way, the rise of Anyone's Legend. Anyone's Legend, you know, in this year, their story has not been on an official broadcast. No, you have to hear it through co-streams or through streams like this. Anyone's Legend, a team that reached finals in first split, international at MSI in second split after winning a split versus BLG, our recent overlords. And then potentially a crash out of them as well. Where am I casting to? I'm casting to Twitch, YouTube, and to Onivia Sarcasm. Onivia's YouTube channel. I'm streaming on 3 different places at once. I know it can be a little confusing, but I don't want to put all the chats on screen because then it gets messy as hell. Sheer is happily farming up in spot side. Within 100 gold is very fine against the Renekton. Very fine indeed. Slight lead in the jungle to Tarzan, who's picked up a decent farm lead, actually. Milky Way needs to really keep an eye on that full level down. That's the kind of thing which can really spiral out of control. Thanks, Sarcasm. I appreciate you. And then mid lane, you do somewhat expect Shanks to get a little bit of a lead. 15 going on 20 CS is a bit much. Then again, FPX haven't been able to pull off a mid-jungle combination. Shanks has kept his flash the entirety of the game. Red Belt's completed for Care. Blackfire Torch for Shanks gives him better burn damage. Much less survivability worth noting. There's no Rod of Ages or Seraphs on here. He's going for burst. If someone manages to find that Orianna, she pop. She do be popping. Yes, in conclusion, why do you think there is no official broadcast? Because it was shut down. It cost too much. Basically, it cost too much. And co-streamers were doing it for them. So, co-streamers doing it for them and it cost too much. So that's why, basically. You know, it used to be able to pay my rent. Shit, has flash, can ward hop, or flash away. These Jin traps are so annoying! Knockup will go onto him, he pops the ult, Sheer gets slowed down from the glow. Oh dear god, it's a care package from Milky Way, who might have just delivered a packed lunch over to Anyone's Legend. Old Sin doesn't have to flash out. Thought they would do for a second. Milky Way will make it out alive. The ult's a little slow as those Jhin trap. Why is a Jhin trap there? Jeez, man. Oh. That was, yeah, he really does. You know, Jhin traps are really, really annoying in pro play. Because if you're coordinated around them, much like a shaker box, you chase people to them. And, you know, the Jhin wasn't even in range of double your ult. Does it from a global thingy built? That was an alley-oop of all time. Milky Way pops that E, decent damage. Handshake will be a bit of a problem. Renata ult disengage. Damage not landing onto Milky Way right now. And he'll be able to body blocks. He'll hold on to the full shot perhaps. No. Why is Care there? Care has died after the play had completely stopped. And anyone's legend have somehow ended up picking up a kill in bot lane. That was a good play for them. In mid lane, they were at the top river. I have no clue why Care thought the play was continuing onwards. Stole the quickness and ends up dying in the ensuing play. Big mistake from Care. Jesus. That is not how you want this game to derail. FPX, the lack of discipline is on show there. Sheer will pushing towards bot side. Jeez. FPX, that's quite dismaying to watch. I think the series was very winnable at points, and now you see gold lead opening up from anyone's legend. They have the 3 grubs. They are getting ahead in terms of objectives, the Herald and infantry as well. Likely to get themselves the feats of strength. So what the heck happened with Care? Okay, now this I understand. Milky Way jumps in, tries to get that stun, empowered E, blah, blah, blah. That's not fine. At least he gets out alive. That's fine. What the sweet hell is this? Why would you run that way? You have flash. Gets caught quickness for quickness. And he's found out to be slower. You could have easily gone back towards your top tower. Big mistake from Care. You had E and flash. You did not have to commit towards that. You could go west out of the river. Hell, you didn't fight Shanks if you wanted to, but even that's a little bit risky, right? That was the riskiest of all options. Care, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Yes, in conclusion to the previous talking point, I have a lot of respect for LPL English. And while I have good reasons for not being on the broadcast, because I think I'll get more out of my own stream, and also I wasn't asked, so I wouldn't want to impose and stuff like that. Like, I massively respect what they're doing. It's a very hard thing to bring stuff to this region. I think the level of production they have is very cool. I've worked with them on finals. I'm a big fan of what they're doing. They're doing it with no budget. If people are not casting well on that broadcast or whatever, it's your right to be able to complain or whatever. But remember, they're doing it for basically no pay. And these are people who are just trying to make things get along. And I really appreciate them for that. And I actually have to think they're pretty good. Bot lane outer turret will fall in favor of anyone's legend. And that will be their first turret of the game. That will secure the feats of strength. Care on the other side. But you just see how FPX have just been... The encroaching vision has continued to march forwards. And FPX have not been able to move up and defend their towers. They've not really been able to proactively use Pantheon ults or Silas plays or Jax plays. FPX, they might try and avoid fighting again for a little while on cross-map. But I think they might be giving up a little too much. Second Dragon 21's legend at the cost of top lane tower taken by FPX. Thanks, Nymaera. I was looking for someone that casts LPL in a more unbiased way, because co-streamers tend to be a bit focused on one or two teams. If you don't mind me, what competitions are paying me to cast at the moment? The LEC. The LEC is where I get my big paycheck from, and very happy to be involved in that broadcast. It's incredible to be working alongside world-class talent in the way that they are in a studio environment. It's very, very cool. Yeah, and then obviously I get some proceeds from this stream, whether that's from subscriptions. We have a Ko-fi link where you can support both myself and my brother, because this is a two-man project. This is, well, a two-person project. Yeah, if you know, you know. Yeah, Sam and I do this together. And yeah, so we split this as best we can. And that goes between Twitch proceeds and stuff like that. I am a Twitch partner, so it does mean that I get a decent share of the subscriptions, and there's a Ko-fi link as well. And then also, Onivia's highlights channel, we do get some proceeds from that channel as well. We get to split that with Onivia themselves. Is it a lot of money? No, no, it's not. I think we're still... Look, some people have been very generous, but the amount of hours in LPL means that it's actually quite hard for it to not be below minimum wage, because Jesus Christ, there's so many things. Yeah, there's so many hours to cover, right? But we do it for the love of the game. I've cast well over 1,000 games of LPL now, and you know, catching people like Jachi in this year. I wouldn't have caught Jachi, right? Or perhaps anyone's Legends Rise to Fame. I would have really missed. Is there a chance of you casting Worlds this year? That's entirely in Riot's hands. Obviously I'd love to. I've not been contacted about visas for traveling to China or anything, so I'm not entirely sure I think that would happen right now. Flash has been blown. But of course I remain hopeful, and I really hope I get to bring those LPL and LEC stories to the international limelight. But we'll see. Fingers crossed. And you know, go tag me under post or something like that. Mention me. Put in a good word, I guess. Community feedback makes a lot of sense. Tomorrow's a 3 Series LPL day, but also LEC day. So I'm not on LEC tomorrow. I am on the day after, so I can do tomorrow. It is 3 Series day, so it might be one of those things where Sam and I switch series out. We do 1-on-1, so we can rest a little bit, and then we do one together, the BLG one. Wait, if BLG go to Worlds, will Shadow be his own translator? Yeah, potentially. Yeah, he speaks good English. Because I was speaking with Finn. Apparently Finn still speaks with Shadow, because they used to be duo queue partners back in the day. And, yeah. So, you know, they communicate in English on that too. Yeah, I would love to go to Worlds. You know, that's my big dream. I mean, my dream is casting World Finals with Sam. That'd be the big dream, but it'll work a hell of a long time to work towards that. We'll hope for the best, won't we? Can't alive. Anyone's Legend. Starting it up. Now, this is typically Intercom. Gin Trap slowing down the river again. They're on full vision. It's going down very quickly. Milky Way would have to ult in towards the play, but FPX have been really willing to trade objectives. Hang on, no one has picked up flowers on the entire map. This is going to be a ton used. They use the Herald as well. They'll drive that in towards mid lane. How many do they get? Tarzan, my dude. Did you just waste Herald? Was it running out? Friend? Buddy? Pal? Compadre? Comrade? My dude? Not sure about that. Herald goes towards bot lane. You know what? Hang on. You know what's going to happen now? The Herald is going to freeze bot lane for them if they want. FPX can actually... Look, there's nothing up for another 2 minutes. You can use the Herald to freeze the wave. That would kill the wave. You can actually do that. Did he? Yeah, they're freezing the wave with this. How's this going to farm up here? You have a Pantheon ult to cover the wave. There's nothing up for a minute and up. Good, intelligent play by FPX. Clip the wave a little bit. You know, there is a cannon there, the Herald there. You don't want it to push in too far, but you can just freeze the wave for a hell of a long time now. And there's nothing which anyone's Legend can really do besides, I don't know, invade into a freaking Raptor camp or something. Someone's going to be losing farm, and I suppose, given that Care is 1.4k down, he does need something like this. Yeah, the wave will get pushed in. Flandre... to make sure that... Yeah, I think Care should just hold the wave for a little bit. There's a minute until Dragon. Yeah, I saw Premier. Good to see you, by the Premier. By the way, I did see you a little bit before. For the love of the game. Hell yeah. Sorry, I didn't say hello earlier. I did see you as well. I'm not sure I said hello to you earlier as well. Good to see you both. Do Sam and I ever play the game yourself? Yes, I do. Not as much. I play a lot of Arena. In fact, I was rank 1 on a US Arena in the last set. I play a lot of Arena. I lock in Zyra. I fish for True Shot Prodigy. I cause great amounts of pain. And I do it again. All over and over again. Actually, I haven't played that much Zyra. But Zyra is... I've actually probably played more Zyra than any other champion in like the last couple of years because I played so much Arena. Which is insane, knowing me. Black Cleaver hit by Tarzan. Not there for Milky Way. He's down 1,000 gold himself. Struggled to get some farm, but he's not died for it, I suppose. Only 2 kills in 24 minutes. A very low-paced game. Dragon started up. Anyone's Legend up. Not that much gold total. Does everyone manage to spend it? Shear's level 14. Flandre is a little bit in terms of XP, but not actually a full level over. Shear on the flank. Okay, how good's the Renata ult gonna be? Care on the flank. What can he steal? He can steal the Shinzo ult. He misses over the wall. He's on full vision, and he's gonna steal in and go in towards the Crescent Guard. Dragon secured by Tarzan, and the Silas is doing okay job. What's happening on the other side though? Shit, trying to look for a flank. It's not bad in terms of the Renata ult. Buy some space. Might be allowed them to disengage. Flandre over the wall. Shockwave force with the feather pullback. Jachi knocked off the breast angle with that Shear going in against a 3-man stun. Is it Jack's time? I don't know. I think he's going in without any support. And Shear, oh Shear, that is not the play you wanted. Jachi left in the pit. Had flashed, couldn't get close to it. There's going to be a man drop out of the sky and to safety as Pantheon will flee the scene of the massacre. Anyone's Legend will go to Soul Point with 3rd Dragon, and FPX will lose 3 kills across the play. I don't think Dway's going to make it out of this alive. Not going to lie. I guess he could flash out. I just don't think it's worth it. Better bail out on himself, because why not? And he'll be left to die, burn out, bleed out in the snow. Not even snow, it's just, I don't know, later around 2049, I guess. Hope. Picks up that one. Anyone's Legend, that'll be the play which likely wins the game now, I think. FPX, they've been trying to avoid fights against FPX, against Anyone's Legend. They've just not been able to get enough value. Kair now walks under this turret. Kair in that last play had to flash over the wall to get into the play in the first place. And then a second jumped onto. He's pretty tanky, pretty hard to do this after Riftmaker completed as well. Tower will go down in Anyone's Legend. We'll take another one in the top lane, so 2 towers in one fell swoop. FPX, I don't see how they come back from a play like this now. They've not managed to use the proactive Pantheon ult at all. Kair is behind 2,000 gold for a player which is so occasionally excellent. Occasionally so excellent, rather. He's had a very hard time in this game. Now, I don't think this is a bad play. Knocking the people around and breaking up the battle lines is not bad. It's just that Jachi really struggles to get anything done. He's afraid of the shockwave. On second look back, I don't really like the Renata ult. Mercury at least managed to eat the shockwave. And then when Sheer finally goes in, there's no follow-up. Like, there's a full screen between him and his teammates. He needed to do that as the Renata ult was coming in, stun them into the Renata ult or something like that. I don't get it. I don't get it, FPX. They have all the pieces to actually be quite a good team. For those of you that didn't see Kair's Ari game the other day, I'm trying to remember who he was against, actually. Could have been versus WE in game 1. That was awesome. Awesome game. Am I delusional, or do I feel like... Or is Sylas not really a champion, even if the enemy team has decent ults? Depends on the player. And I will agree, there's a great talking about this in some parts. A lot of people think that the most important thing about Sylas is which ults he steals. They are incorrect. The most important thing is how easily he can W people multiple times in a fight. The most broken thing about Sylas is how often he can W people. If you're into a low-range comp that can not keep you away very easily, you are very, very strong. Now, the ults are important. It doesn't make them unimportant, but it is not the only thing you must consider. And Kair into this team when you're into the Rakan, Jhin, Orianna, the Shinzao, who kind of bops you away as well. It's hard to get that done. And now when you've lost the lane against the Orianna and you're playing from behind, you can't just stat stick and run your way in. It's a big problem. Milky Way's 0-0-0. Not die, but not exactly helping either. Sheer at least stopping Flandre. Sheer is at least 1,000 gold up. I mean, it's a Jax angle, I guess, a jangle. There's a, you know, there's a jingle for hope. There's a jangle for Sheer. And we shall jingle-jangle our way towards one Nexus or the other. It's only a 2.5k gold lead, I suppose. The Soul Point. Pantheon that's really struggled to do much. Baron's being started. This is another thing too. Not many people leave that ward when they're ahead of the game, but when you're behind the game, it's great for randomly spotting stuff out. When you're behind the game, leave wards in non-opportune spots, because people sweep all the good spots. You have to go for the second best ones, because you can't defend them anyway. Right there, that really helps. Kair caught out by that Jhin, and the shockwave will come in, and yeah, Sylas will once again return to the CPS screen. Kair has struggled this series. Occasionally excellent, but in this series, sadly not rolling the natural 20. Tarzan will go back towards the Baron. Wards will be swept out. I don't think FPX have a great deal to say about this. Sheer is teleporting in. They can't realistically let the Baron go down, but how are they in time to contest it? They've been a little bit late to objective contest on the time through. The Jhin will start to slow them down. Flash in from the Tarzan for the 3-talent strike, and that is a dead bird pushing up the daisy. He's gone to meet the Maker. That is an ex-Jachi as the curtain call comes through to slow and damage a few more times. 3 dead already with Kair beforehand. 2 in the fight. The Jax has not been able to realize the late game dreams and will fall down alongside his teammates. Foam plus Phoenix cleared away from the Baron. Anyone's Legend will have a free shot at this now. I suppose they'll resettle with Kyle. They'll go back towards the objective. I suppose there is a man drop and a dream. There is a man drop and a dream, but will he try for it? I mean, he's loaded up. He's going to try. If this works, this is going into the Hall of Fame. You ever hear that one about Milky Way with the P90 and a 1v4? Perhaps we shall see. It's getting freaking close, but he doesn't get it. 31 HP. Just about gets it through. But Anyone's Legend will not allow the Baron Steel to come through. But it got close. Overstay in the mid lane. Kair pops the quickness. We'll get out safely. I'm not going to lie. I believe, for half a second, I believe. How freaking close was that? So, charging up the 3-talent strike. Flash in, knock up. Renekton comes in immediately after. There's even a knock away from the ultimate too. How insanely low counterplay is that? Full CC, flash over the Renata, or Flandre goes into the backline. The Tarzan, the Shinzao performance has been nuts. Again, he's a very good Shinzao player. Do we get to see the... Hang on, we're going to see Mountain Soul getting in the Patreon. Anyone's Legend are now in prime position to completely take over this game. You're telling me we're not getting a replay of that almost Baron steal? Come on. Aw, I feel like I've been robbed a little bit there. Inner turret will fall. Anyone's Legend will take that. More gold. Another 2.5 tons of Ryegrass to Harurara. Another inner tower to Flandre. Chomp chomp goes the brickwork. Inner turret next to fall. FPX have not gotten a single kill. Killless in game 3. Sheer walking forwards. He's not done bad in terms of the gold. Milky Way, yeah, not able to get that much done on the other side, really. This Pantheon has done nothing. He's 0 kill participation because there's 0 kills. Mid inhibitor's gone down. Bot lane soon to follow. Care takes the ult, misses the E, and Tarzan bot backed a little bit by the Crescent Guard, but I don't think he's going to care that much. He's got a Sundered Sky. The Renata ult is not bad. Can they get themselves a single kill? Oh, they are trying, and oh, they are failing. 2 dead. Flandre kills another, and Jin stays alive. Anyone's Legend rally around their team. A Feather Pollack is also not enough. The tower's not able to finish the job as 15-0. Anyone's Legend lose a game and will not leave the day feeling entirely happy, but a almost perfect game, at least in the kill score, a deathless game.